Hey guys, welcome back to the His&Hers, the Truth podcast. My name is Twan. This is my beautiful wife.
Sim, great seeing you guys again. Welcome to our channel.
And guys, as promised, we got a live show with you guys today that has some very good guests, some great guests, some friends of ours as well. But we'll see how they'll be friends of ours after this podcast.
Very true.
No, it's going to be a good topic, guys, because like I said, you guys, in 2023, we're going to bring obviously relationships, marriage, RP content to our channel, right, to our podcast, and of course focus kind of on Asian theme, Asian culture as well too, guys, because this has been a topic I think that needs to be discussed in our community and that hasn't been addressed. Okay. But before I get into it, guys, a few notifications and of course obviously announcements, right? So guys, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe, right? Hit that like button, smash the like button if you can, right? Share and comment after the show.
Yes.
But unlike normal shows, guys, we do want to see some comments coming in during the show, okay?
Yes.
So if you guys have any comments for us, any questions that you guys would like us to ask the guests or even us, right? Marriage, relationship, whatever, how it affects us as Asians in the community, go ahead and please comment, and then we will read those comments and, of course, hopefully answer for you guys as well. Guys, if you guys haven't checked out some of the good books out there to become more RP aware, become better men out there, and hopefully get better relationships, right? Go check out The Rational Male and, of course, the clickbaitish book, right? Why Women Deserve Less from Myron Gaines over at Fresh and Fit, guys. Both really good reads to learn more about the truth, about women's hypergamous nature, and hopefully get your guys' better outcomes out there. Okay, guys? All right, but without further ado, we're going to introduce the guests. Last thing. Guys, if you guys want to obviously donate to the channel, we have a couple cash apps out there, right? It's the at His&Hers the Truth or $ at His&Hers the Truth, guys. Donate to the show. We'll hopefully bring you guys better cameras, more cameras, better audio equipment, better guests on the show, right? Hopefully, better different places as well too, right?
Yes.
All right. Cool. All right, so without further announcement, right? Yep. I'm going to introduce the guests, guys. If you guys can introduce yourself, right? Just please state your name, your age, your ethnicity, all right? Your relationship status, okay? And then I'll remind you guys if you forget, don't worry. And then what you guys do for a living or what your job is, okay? And we will start over there.
Hi, my name is Philippe Ceruno. I am 35, currently single. I work at Meta/Facebook front of house. I try to, as much as I can, be a director for choir, for men's choir for St. Louis out in Bellevue, not too far away from here. And I'm glad to be on the show. I've known Twan for a very, very long time. So This is a very different experience for me. So this might be fun.
It's going to be a good one. And then what is your ethnicity, Philippe?
Filipino.
Filipino. Okay, awesome. Okay.
I am Yen. I'm 31 years old, currently single. I work in administration and healthcare. Okay. I'm not going to say where, but I help doctors manage their patient panels, doing outreach for them on overdue care gaps.
Nice.
And I am a creative. I like to write poetry. I have a book coming out soon.
Yay.
It's delayed since January, but it's coming soon within the next 2 months, hopefully.
Okay. And did you state your ethnicity?
I am Vietnamese.
Vietnamese.
Yes.
Okay. So Filipino, Vietnamese. Got it. And next, please.
This mic is too close. My bad. My name's Liz. I'm 34. I'm in IT, security, and automotive. And I am engaged.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. Ethnicity, Chinese Filipino.
Chinese Filipino, okay.
I'm Jasmine, 35. I am Filipino British. I am a business owner, massage therapist. My business is out here in Bellevue as well.
Nice.
And I am unmarried.
Unmarried, okay.
Hey, welcome aboard.
And you said you're Vietnamese, British?
No,
Filipino
British.
British.
And mom or dad's side? Which side?
My mom is full Filipino. My dad is half Filipino, half British.
Nice.
Got it. All right. Go ahead. And
Well, we already know who
yeah,
I am.
yeah.
Well, I'm Sim, and the other half of Twan's wife.
They don't know some of our personal stuff, so a little bit. I mean, I think we've stated on some other videos, but what is your ethnicity, honey?
Well, I'm mixed. My mom is Cambodian, sort of partial, little bit of French mix, and then my dad is full Chinese.
And then what do you do for a living?
What I do for a living, you're supporting me, so I'm a partial business owner. Mom.
Great housewife, right?
Yeah.
Great mom to the kids, right? So she has a big job already. And yeah, you guys know me. I'm Twan. I'm 100% Vietnamese as far as I know, right? And I'm an entrepreneur, and I can spell entrepreneur. Okay, so I need to ask. I can spell it, right? That's a common question they always ask on these channels to these women that come on and says I'm an entrepreneur. So they always say, "Well, can you spell entrepreneur?" Anyways, but yeah, I own multiple businesses, and I've been doing this with you guys for a long time, and so of course, I want to bring this content out to you guys. Okay, all right. So very first question, all right, is are you guys? Well, I know some of you guys aren't, right? But if you guys were currently dating and in the dating market, right? What would your goal? Why would you be wanting to date? And we'll start right here. We'll start right here with Jasmine. So we'll start with a tough question, right? So if you're in the dating market, or you can tell me if you're not, right?
Yep.
But if you were, what is your reason to be dating?
Well, I'm not really in the market at this moment. I am seeing somebody.
Okay.
Have been seeing somebody.
For how long now?
Shit.
We don't have to give it exact.
Like 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, we need to know some of these stats, honey, because we
Yeah,
keep track
yeah.
of some of this stuff. So.
So yeah, I'm not really looking. What was the question? If I was, what would I be looking
Well,
for?
no. So you are dating this, and it's him,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And what is the purpose of you dating for him for? Like, what's your long term, or I guess
Goal.
even your short term purpose? I guess. What is your reason to date?
Well, I guess when that's changed because when we first started dating, I was looking for kind of companionship, and also the place I was at in my life at that time, I had pretty low self-esteem and self-worth, and a lot of that, in my mind came, the self-worth equaled who I was with or somebody wanting to be with me. And obviously that was, a few years ago. So I've gotten past that now. So now, and we're kind of in this interesting place in our relationship where I'm actually needing a little bit more from him. Like I'm needing.
This is about 5 years ago. So you're around 30, 29 at that time.
Yeah.
Do you mind elaborating on what that was that you had to go through?
I think turning 30, like there's this weird switch in our brains that that just is like, oh, I'm a different person now. Maturity, I think, just came from that, and also just doing a lot of self work and growth and realizing I don't need a guy to just tell me I'm pretty to fulfill me in a relationship. Like I say now, I'm like, I don't really want a boyfriend anymore. I want a hype man. Like,
did you have a previous relationship before that relationship? Were you in
Yes.
relationships? Serious or
serious relationship.
how long?
I had 3 children with him.
Okay, so you were in a previous
Yeah.
marriage or relationship?
We were never married.
But had 3 kids with the
Yeah.
gentleman. Ethnicity, if you don't mind.
Filipino, Hawaiian, Japanese, and mixed European.
So,
Oh, wow.
so mostly Asian brother, though?
Yeah.
Another Asian brother? Okay.
Did not know that.
What is the current man that you're dating? What's his ethnicity?
Latino,
Latino.
Yeah.
Okay. And how old is he?
34.
34. Okay. Do you want to have more kids?
I'm very much on the fence. Like I would be totally fine not having any more. But like if it ever came around that was a conversation, I would be open to that conversation.
Does he have kids?
No.
So he doesn't have kids. Does he want kids?
Well, he has 3
Okay.
right now.
Yeah.
Oh, so
My 3.
your 3. Okay.
So you're like, okay, well, you got 3 now.
Do you let him, when you guys first dated versus now, or even from the beginning, did you let him like, hey, these are my kids? Like, did you tell him that you had kids?
Oh yeah,
and
he
knew?
He was our server at a restaurant. So, and I came in with my kids, so he knew before we even started talking, he saw me with children and knew, oh, this is a woman with children.
So he knew what he was getting
He
himself
knew
into.
exactly what he was getting.
But did you allow him to, I guess, like really be part of the kids' lives, or were you kind of like a little?
I waited about a year before I introduced them like officially, because obviously like they had known him from the restaurant, but before I like merged our lives together, I waited about a year.
Okay. And this might be a personal question, so you don't have to answer if you don't like. And I'm going to move on. I don't want to, obviously let everyone else answer the question
this
too.
isn't my show.
No, it's very interesting because a lot of this content out there, guys, you're going to hear mixed messages, and so I want to get, like I said, everyone's perspective on this, right?
Yeah.
And so I'll get into it in a little bit, so I don't want to skew people's answers, right?
Yeah.
But were you intimate with him in the first year of dating him?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Okay. All right, we'll get back to that. Liz, what about yourself? I know you're currently engaged, right? When you were in that dating market, what was your main primary goal, focus?
So with my current partner or which partner?
Well, just in general. I mean, with your current partner now, obviously you're engaged, so I'm assuming that was your goal, but was that always your mindset going into a dating relationship?
Normally it is. But with my partner right now, initially that kind of wasn't it.
Okay.
Because for me, it was like I have my own money, and I couldn't find a guy that met all my standards. So for me, it was more like I'm just going to date and see where it goes, because I'm very picky about who I want involved in my kids' lives.
And how many kids do you have?
2.
2. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So it just started with, I'm just going to date and see how it is. And a lot of guys out there are just wanting to hook up, or they're all like, you want to go back to my place or something like that. Or they think monetary things impress me. So for me, it was very like, oh, do you think I'm that shallow? And then there are all these guys that try to think, oh, you're probably gonna be impressed because I own this, or I can do this, and I don't know, guys that like to flex like that, I never really found attractive. So, but with my partner, it was I actually pursued him because I was really attracted to him, and he thought I was a catfish because he was like, there's no way an attractive girl like you is interested in me. And I said, aw. I even sent him food to his place, and he still thought I was a bot.
Did he know that you had kids previously as well, too?
He did, and he has a child as well.
Okay.
But then again, who knew if he really thought that was real, considering he thought up until our first date that he thought I was a bot the entire time.
And how long did you guys date before you guys got officially engaged? What was that time frame?
July, August, September. He proposed on Valentine's, so it was
7 months.
7 months.
7 months. Okay. And in that 7 months, did you like obviously show him the kids? Was the kids part of your guys' relationship in that 7 months?
Initially they weren't, because I wanted to focus on our relationship first, because I feel like, that the relationship between the partners should always come first before the kids, because if we don't have a strong bond, I don't want my kids seeing me with a guy who's just kind of like, that.
So how long before you made him a part of it?
Oh, I want to say maybe about 5 or 6 months.
Okay.
5 or 6 months. Okay, so then the very last month he proposed at that point. Okay, so it didn't fail then.
Yeah.
He still sticked around after that first month. Okay,
He did.
okay,
He
okay,
did.
gotcha.
Even introducing.
Yeah, even with my daughter's sassy attitude.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, good barometer. Okay,
He likes the sassiness. So
Apparently,
Yeah.
he likes the sassy brats.
Okay, hey, that's good.
And with Jasmine, he stuck around. I mean, even after, so he you didn't like sugarcoat it and whatever else. Like he knew everything what he's coming into.
Jasmine never sugarcoats.
You have a son and a daughter. Jasmine, how about yourself? Your 3 kids, are they
I have 2 sons and a daughter.
Sons and daughter. And ages?
11, almost 9, and 7.
Okay.
So fairly up there. And Liz, how about your
10. Wait, is she 10 right now? Oh no, 11. 11 and 9 and 3/4. So funny story. So our kids. So I had a kid, and then she had a kid, and then I had another kid, and then she had a kid.
So you guys
didn't text each
you
other?
guys planned this back and forth
we
again.
had
Got it.
And then
Okay.
so
It's
the-
Did your significant
So the
other?
next kid will be like planned too.
so then one year she goes, "Hey, so you're expecting this year, right?" I said, "Actually, I'm not." And she goes, "Wait, what's wrong?" And then
No.
but then and then she was, and then like the next year after, or a couple years later, and then we said, "Hey, how come Marquita's not having any kids?"
Oh wow. Okay. Well, we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to,
He's
okay.
getting that look here.
Yeah, not by yourself. So if you are, or if you are not, just let us know if you are currently in the dating market. Trying to find a significant other out there. And if you are, what would be your purpose?
I am in the dating market, but I'm not actively looking at the moment. I think I spent like the last 13 years in relationships back to back, and this is like my first.
How many relationships in that 13-year time frame?
3 long term.
Okay.
3
Yeah.
long term.
Yeah.
So each of them was probably around 4 or 5 years, roughly. 3 to 4
Roughly
years.
about 3 to 4
Okay.
years.
Okay. Was there any gap between those relationships?
Probably a few months. That was like a different part of my life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the unhealed part of my life, where you're just so focused on not being alone and you just want to get back out there and date somebody, and then you just hop on to the next person. But then after I hit a point like last year, 2022, where I discovered new parts about myself. I mean, I had this epiphany probably like in 2020, but I didn't like fully accept it until around like 2021, 2022. So I was like, you know what? This is not working out for me. I want something different than what these guys are giving me emotionally, and in terms of like emotional intelligence also.
Yeah.
And in terms of like their healing. I'm in the market, but I'm not searching. But if somebody comes along, I want to date somebody who has done their inner work and their inner healing. Like there's just so much trauma as like Asian Americans.
Were they mostly Asians that you dated?
Yeah, they're mostly Asians.
Okay. Did you ever date outside ethnicity, or was that all
I
Asian?
did.
Okay.
My longest term one.
What
was like 6
ethnicity?
years.
What ethnicity was he?
He was mixed, black and white.
Black and white.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was how many years you said? 6 years?
Yes.
So that was your longest one. And was that the most current one, or was that one of the first ones? One of the early
One of the first ones.
one of the first ones. Okay. And then the other ethnicities were Asian.
Yeah.
Do you mind knowing what
They're
Asians
both Chinese.
are? Chinese. Okay. So black and white was the first one. Dated him for 6 years. The second 2 were Chinese.
Yes.
Okay. So why didn't it work out with the black and white guy?
Well, first I got cheated on.
He cheated on you, or?
Yeah. There were lots of signs before that he cheated, but as somebody who was young in high school, and I didn't find out till I was in my early mid-20s.
So you were about 18 at this time. 18
Yeah,
and 19
I
when you
started
first
dating
met
when
him.
I was like 17.
Okay.
17. And then probably in like my 20, 21 years old, I was getting like hints or signs.
Okay.
Actually, no, I blatantly just found out
Yeah.
that
Were you second generation Asian? Did you grow up here?
I did, yeah.
Would you say you're more westernized, more Americanized?
I would definitely say I'm more westernized in a way, but
Okay.
still maintaining my Asian roots.
Okay.
But
Did you lose it? Like I said, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but like I said, we're gonna get deep on this
Are we gonna get
podcast, guys. Yeah,
deep?
we're gonna get really deep.
Deep.
Nothing's gonna be
Okay.
like no. So right, did you lose your virginity to that him?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so that was your first. Okay, so 3 years, you started finding out that he was potentially cheating on you, right?
Yeah.
How did you officially find out?
Facebook.
Did he communicate that, or did you go search his phone?
No, I was just on the computer, and I was just sitting there, and I was like, man, he tells me the password for like everything. Yeah. I don't know what part of me I didn't want to like. I didn't feel that need to like go through his phone or anything up until that point. I was just like, let me see if I can guess his Facebook account like password. Maybe he's gonna just have the same password for everything, because he usually has the same password for everything. And I was just like sitting in his room, just waiting for him to come home from work. Yeah. And I was like, oh, let me just be silly and try to see if I can guess his password.
Okay.
And I apparently logged into one of his many Facebook accounts. Oh. And there was like a banner just splattered. You know how like this is super long ago where you can have like profile pictures as a banner. I don't know if it's still like that. I don't use Facebook anymore. But yeah, I just saw like a picture of him and some other girl.
Just one or just one girl or?
Yeah, just that one girl that I knew of at that time.
Yeah. Okay. And how did you know, besides obviously him just taking a photo of her, how do you knew that they were together?
You know, like pictures like kissing on the cheek or like hugging really close around the waist and like going through the comments and stuff.
Now
it just looks like a shock. Yeah.
Got it. Did you find out if she was like someone new to him? Like, you know, like, did you knew her like prior to your relationship or?
No, I didn't know her at all. She was somebody who went to school with him because he went to school, like a vocational school in Washington. So he was away from home.
So I guess this is going to be a hard question.
Yeah.
Okay. Another hard question. Did you realize it was you the side chick or was he dating this other side chick? Or is he both juggling you guys?
He dated me first. Okay. So this was like during his college years. So she came afterwards. So I would, in my eyes at that time, she was the side, or he was probably playing off a single. I don't know.
Then let me ask you this then. Let's try to clarify this.
Okay.
Was he providing for you? Was he protecting you? Is he a high earner?
We were both in school, but...
How old was he at that time then?
I'm trying to think back to the exact year. I think we were like at 20, 21.
So both fairly young.
Yeah,
okay.
we were fairly young.
So was he doing anything? Was he an ambitious guy? Was he trying to have a career making money?
Yeah, he was an ambitious guy. He was trying to go to school for his career.
Was he a good-looking dude too?
In my eyes,
above average?
That time, that time, that's what I thought. But you know, when you look back at our relationships, you're like, once you see the negative or the ugly in people, just they're not even attractive anymore. It's just like once you see another side of them, that whatever you thought was beautiful before, it was just completely ripped down.
Well, then let's go back into a dream world.
Okay,
let's go back to the beginning before you had this negative impression of, rightfully so, of course, right?
This out.
Yeah. So what initially attracted you to him, though? Was he tall? Was he handsome? Did he have good game, right? Did he have good riz? Does he play sports? Is he an athlete? What initially attracted you to him?
He did play sports. Like he swam and played baseball. Yeah. I think it was his smart aleck personality. That's right.
So he was funny.
I don't know about funny, but just like being a smart aleck, always having something to say. I don't know what part of me thought that was attractive.
Was he tall too?
No, he was just like a little bit taller, probably like 5'4", so not too much taller.
Short.
He was on the shorter
side.
side.
Oh, wow.
5'4",
okay.
5. Yeah. He's black and white.
Black and white.
I know. You're like, he's so short.
I thought it was gonna be like 6'4".
Wait. I'm gonna offshoot a little bit, but I'm gonna go back to you, ladies, okay? And we'll get to you, Philippe, in a little bit. But there's some topics here. There's some topics here I want to address.
Okay.
Let's address the elephant in the room.
Yes.
Okay. Let's address the elephant in the room. Was he packing down below? If you don't mind
I think
saying.
need a little more bourbon here, some more liquor here.
Let's take a shot then. Okay.
It's like I don't need it, but
Hey man, our Asian brothers want to know, because we have our negative stereotypes, right? We make fun of ourselves all the time, right?
Okay,
so
yes.
compared to how about compared to the other two long-term relationships that you've had?
The other two.
Yeah, the other Chinese dudes. Let's not discard. We gotta know, but we gotta know. I gotta know. So compared to the Chinese brothers out there, how was?
Watching this out here later? This is immortalized on YouTube.
Hey,
but all right.
Hey, they can work on other things. It's totally fine. So
I mean, can't help how you're biologically born down there, but one of the Chinese dudes packing, but if you're packing but you don't know how to use it, it's just useless. Okay.
Hey,
if you're packing but
good
you
advice
don't
out
know
there
how
to
to
my
use
Asian
it,
brothers. Yes.
it's useless. Okay,
Right, what
that's
they
a whole different category.
What do they say? Right, it's not the size, but the ocean or the motion of the ocean. Yeah,
Ocean
yeah,
of the ocean.
yeah.
But that's a whole different topic.
So, are you saying it's potentially a stereotype that not all black men, white men are packing down there, and it's just a myth? Are you making that from just your own experience?
I don't know. From my own experience, I have seen them packing so far. The ones I've seen are packing.
See, there you go.
The black
Hey,
guys.
so Asian.
Yes.
The black guys.
The black guys are packing, but Asian guys, some Asian guys are packing.
See, you guys are packing
Some
it.
Asian
You
guys
need to
are
use the
packing.
Asian brothers.
Not all Asian guys are small.
Yeah, okay. So that's a stereotype
Yes.
that we're going to have to
There
debunk.
is
Not all
hope.
Asian guys are small.
Yeah, I've been trying to either debunk that stereotype or use it to my advantage, but I don't know how I'm going to use that to my advantage. We'll get to that. Anyways, okay.
You need to learn how to use it, though.
Don't worry, honey. You're packing. We got twins out of you.
Hey, I never said Asian men don't work. We have a lot of kids, right? I mean, we're still like the most
that Chinese people did have a lot
populated
of
ethnicity in the world, right? There's over 2 billion served, right? I think that's the thing, right? Okay, so I want to get back to you guys. So, Liz and obviously Jasmine, you guys had kids with a former relationship, right? Mm-hmm. And so I guess getting back to it then, why didn't it work for that first relationship? And Liz, if you want to start.
Any one of you, ladies?
I mean, it was arranged. So, first thing is, it was arranged. So we weren't completely we were interested in each other at one point, but he didn't really want kids. Me as a partner, as a wife, I felt, I gotta have kids. It's what I'm expected to do, expected to please my partner and all that. And he just never wanted kids. Thought he'd eventually turn around because we had a son. Still didn't really want kids. To be fair, though, he didn't exactly have the greatest male role models because his dad passed away when he was really young. So he was raised by his mother and her new husband, but he just had a bad relationship with them. So he kept running away from home when he was younger, and then eventually he grew up with his dad's brother. So he just didn't really have any strong male role models in his life, so he didn't feel that he would ever be a good fit father. So
Don't worry, Philippe, we're gonna get back to you, okay? So what ethnicity was my Asian brother?
Chinese Vietnamese.
Chinese Vietnamese. Okay.
And for the record, he wasn't packing.
Damn. Okay, it's like that, huh, Liz? Okay.
straight to the
all right. Hey, you guys, remember. Hey, I'm 100% Vietnamese, so maybe there's a Chinese connection here that that I have to. Anyway, not hating on my Chinese brothers, okay?
Every partner
love
after
y'all.
that was
love y'all.
Caucasian, and
Asian brothers.
for my statistics, all the white guys, yes, we're packing.
Objectively, okay, all right. And what was my Asian brother's height?
5'4".
5'4", and what and damn. I don't know how you found a 5'4" brother, but hey, I guess they're out there too. And what about the Caucasian guys are you dating? What is
Their height.
typically their?
They were, one of them was 5'10", the rest of them were at least 6 feet or taller.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
All right, Jasmine, how about yourself? Why did it not work out with our Asian brother? And
Well, the kind of overarching reason why it didn't work out was he also cheated multiple times.
Okay.
And it got kind of to the point where I was like, I can't overlook this.
And was this early in the relationship, late in the relationship,
Like all through the relationship.
all through the
wow.
relationship,
Yeah.
even before kids and after kids?
Yeah, I mean, we were pretty young, and I got pregnant really early in our relationship, and our relationship
Early 20s, you would say?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was 23. And so that's my train of thought. But yes, I mean I think we both at that time were just kind of like, like this is fun. Like we were drinking buddies essentially, and then one night it was, oh shit, we drank too much, and now I'm pregnant.
Did you feel then that you guys were a little bit kind of forced yourself into that marriage. Potentially?
Maybe, yeah, a little.
a
I mean,
kid?
like we did like each other. And I think for me, I was thinking like, oh, okay, well now we have a baby together. Like, I guess this is it. Like we're gonna make it work, and we're gonna,
So you
fight
liked him
battles.
enough that you considered him like, hey, a potential
Yeah.
mate, a potential husband, a potential father.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like I kind of just like that's where my mind went. Was like, all right, here we go. Like I'm stuck.
But did he feel that way?
I mean, he led on to me that we were kind of on the same page there. But, now that I can look back at our relationship while not being in it, he never truly was there,
And was he above average too, I guess? What was
The
his
height and
height?
stuff,
What
right?
was his
He was 6'2".
Asian Filipino brother, 6'10"?
Well, I mean, like he was half
Okay.
like European. He was
Okay.
like Italian and German or
Nice.
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a tall brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
He's tall.
Oh, so you guys know who this person
Oh
is?
yeah, they
too.
know him.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I
How did you find out that he was cheating on you?
Well, the one time that I found out like that, like confirmed it, was the other girl messaged me.
Oh wow.
Was she the main chick or the side chick?
I think she found out that she was the side chick, and then
You're the
messaged
main-
me.
yeah.
And real quick, just to kind of give our audience more information out there, and if you feel free, of course, what was your reaction when she revealed it?
Well, when I first got the message, I confronted him, and his excuse was, "Oh, well, I was dating her when you and I were on a break, and she's just a scorned woman."
Okay. Now, were you guys married? No, right? You
No,
never got
not
officially married.
married,
If you guys did get officially married, would that have changed the situation a little bit, you
Would
think?
change his ways.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
just change that situation. I'm not changing anything out. He still cheated on you, right? He's still who he is, right? But you guys are officially married with kids. Would that changed your outlook?
I think back then, because that was, still like late 20s at that point. I think maybe at that point, I probably would have been like, okay, well, we're married and, let's fight through it. But, had this been the Jasmine I am today, hell no.
Was he providing for you? Did you guys own a home? Was he taking care of the
He
kids?
doesn't take care of shit.
Did he have a good job? Did the fool even have a job?
So interestingly, at the time when I found out about this, he had actually just been fired from his job, but I didn't know about it. She told me that.
Oh wow.
Got it. But
Yeah.
at the before then though, he had this assumption that he was taking care of you
Yeah, I
and the
mean,
kid.
like he was taking care of us,
Where were you guys living at that time?
At
if you don't mind me.
that time with my mom and dad. I was with my mom and dad, and he had actually just moved back in because were kind of like getting back together.
And was he like saving money, saying, "Hey, we're gonna, try to maybe do something"? Get
Hopefully get married in the future.
no. So he wasn't doing anything.
Okay.
No.
So this is kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back in a way.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, and I mean, like, just for me, I was like, I can't keep making this okay, because I think in the back of my mind, I'd known all this had been happening for years, and now, but like, I had never had that really solid proof until that happened, and now I'm like, well, I can't hide this, like, I can't pretend like it didn't happen, or lie to myself. Like, it's right here in front of my face. And I'm like, and I can't make this okay. And I don't want to set this precedent for my daughter to ever, like, for her to ever think that it's okay to stay with the man who treats her this way.
So you guys already had how many kids at that point together?
3.
All three at
All
that
3,
point.
yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. We'll get back to this because I want Philippe to answer the original first question, right? So are you currently in the dating market, Philippe? Yes or no? And if you
yes.
are, then what is your purpose for dating?
Purpose for dating.
Yeah. Let's get it from an Asian brother's perspective now. We got it from our Asian sisters' perspective.
The pressure is kind of on because I know these two really, really well. So
And I make sure to cut this part.
don't clip this part. Anyways, I guess my purpose being in the dating market is to just find a companion that basically just kind of accepts me and loves me for who I am. But also, I found out later on in life, it's like I need someone that could elevate me in a way and just motivate me to be much better of a person. And recently, I actually got out of a relationship not too long ago, and I've been working on myself.
How long was that relationship?
So
Did someone say that? Oh no.
Uh-oh. It's the two sisters. Saying
There's some crickets in the back just
this
talking.
is why I was worried about that. Anyways,
Hey, maybe there's some truth in it though. Maybe there's some truth in
Well,
there. We'll get to that.
4 years, give or take, something like that.
4 years.
Hey, it was okay. This person.
Uh-oh.
Whoa, no. So this person I've known for over a decade, and it was kind of a complicated, messy, up and down type of thing. I've definitely had my share of relationships throughout my years. I can't believe I'm even saying this. Right up from when I was 5 till I was 12, and then I was 15, and then 17, all the way till now.
5?
Yeah, I had a relationship with someone from age 5 to age 12.
Hey, pause. I mean, this is where we would cut the show. This is a little bit kind of grapey now. I mean, who are we talking about? 5 years old, man. What are we talking
Holding
about?
each other's hands.
You were 5. That's what I'm trying to say.
I was 5 and she was 5. And
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Just
well,
make it
that's
clear.
just a
That's what
little
I was
bit-
trying to say.
sorry.
Yeah.
And my first relationship was when I was in kindergarten, all the way till I was 12.
Okay.
It's that little kindergarten baby love.
Well, when did you lose your virginity?
Oh
Oh
no.
boy.
You know your dad's watching too, so.
Let me think. 17. 17.
Okay. And is it with a girl that that you long-term relationship or just kind of?
It was a long term. They know her.
I
But
liked her.
yeah, it was a long term relationship. It was actually near my how do I say this? My senior year. I didn't expect anything of it, and it was a nice relationship that started off, and then I told her that I was going to school in Canada, and then I met that person over there, and a lot of weird complications and things happened when I was up there, and she knows a little bit here and there as well.
Yeah, but we don't know.
And
So-
I know. I'm trying to keep it as disclosed a little bit as possible, but not try to be too open about
Well,
it.
how about just keep it like if it was like a bullet point, like why did it not work out then?
Shut up. I made mistakes. It's definitely my fault.
What were those mistakes?
Oh no,
Gotta
that
know.
stern voice.
What were those mistakes? Yeah.
All right,
Hey, this could be very educational to us other Asian
I
brothers
cheated
out-
because I was young and I didn't know what I wanted, and I was just kind of, I was new to a serious relationship because I was not used to that kind of thing, and so.
When you say you cheated, because I was going to get back to this with the girls as well, because it seems like we've all had our cheating stories in one way or another, right? So when you cheated, was it just physical, or did you cheat emotional, attention, maybe monetary? What else did you cheat, or was it just a physical cheating? With this,
It was a
other person?
little bit of emotional, a little bit of physical. It was
physical for sure.
for sure.
What was the emotional cheating that you did?
This person was there for me when I was going through a tough time when I was going to school up there.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I'm going to bring this up, but I always think of Back to the Future. It was the Florence Nightingale effect. Ever heard of that?
No, why don't you?
So the Florence
Elaborate.
Nightingale effect is basically when what is it? When the nurse falls for the patient.
Yes,
Oh,
I've heard.
okay.
I didn't hear a term Florence Nightingale, but yes, I've definitely
It's a
seen
very
that.
old term, but I didn't know that was a thing. No, because she knows what that is. Anyways, so basically, it kind of devolved, and I felt bad. Obviously, I felt horrible about it, and I was just like, I wanted to work it out. But then as the next couple of years went by, I just realized that I was changing, she was changing, and I guess I wanted something new.
Your original girl that you were.
Yeah,
dating. the first girl.
The first girl.
the first girl, and that next girl ended up being Filipino.
Did that make a difference? That ethnicity?
No, no.
What
not
was
really.
the ethnicity of the original girl?
Caucasian.
Okay.
Caucasian. That you lost your virginity to.
Yes, we
17.
both.
Okay. So how old was she, if you don't mind?
I think she was.
She's 2 years younger than you.
Shut it, you. So maybe she was
Hey.
15.
Don't worry. Hey, this isn't. FBI ain't gonna come knocking. Don't worry, Philippe.
They know the facts.
Okay.
I'm not gonna
That's-
lie or hide
That's
it.
long time ago. So,
So Caucasian
Not
girl
recent.
was your original girl that you lost your virginity to.
Yes.
And then you cheated on her with this Filipino girl.
No.
No.
It was another Caucasian girl.
Oh, you cheated with her on another Caucasian girl.
Yeah.
that was
Okay.
helping you. That was there
through
for
school,
you. Through
helped me
okay.
tutor, comforted me through a lot of tough times.
Okay.
No problem.
I ended up introducing that person to their future husband too. So it was a happy ending for that person, but for
Were
that
you
ex.
juggling both girls at the same time at that time?
Well, we got a nod. We got a nod from Liz, so
Yeah.
it might have been true.
can't lie about that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was.
Way to put me in an awkward situation, eh?
Hey, it was your debut. Don't even start with that.
So let's go back to the original question of the dating purpose then.
'Kay.
Did you feel like any of these girls were any future with these girls?
One of them, yes.
Which one?
They know.
Yeah, but which one? Yeah.
It was I know.
No.
Yeah.
It was
many.
it was a Chinese girl.
Okay, yes. Go on.
It was a Chinese girl
So another girl, a Chinese girl.
after the Filipino.
Okay, so those first two girls, the two Caucasian girls, there was no signs of potential long-term.
I was hoping, but the Caucasian, just something about that changed, and I left that relationship.
Okay.
And then moved into this one with the Filipino. The Filipino one was definitely, she was young.
Okay, so that second Caucasian girl that you cheated with on the first Caucasian girl, she was a very short-term relationship then.
It was a very short term,
Okay.
and I felt really bad about it.
Yeah, because she was kind of helping you, kind of going through this tough time.
Yeah,
Yeah, she was
Cheated
there
on
for
you,
you.
absolutely.
and then so you slept with her, but you didn't really give her any long-term thing after that.
No.
Hinting.
Okay, and then you
Okay.
moved on from her to this Filipino
Filipino
girl.
girl.
Essentially,
Okay, okay. And so how long was this relationship with this Filipino girl
2
again?
years.
So 2 years. Okay. And why didn't it work out with her?
She cheated on me
Oh,
She cheated on you.
and left me for another guy who she ended up having a kid with.
Okay. And at that time, let me say this: where were you at in terms of your your life goals at that time? Were you still going to school?
I was working at Nintendo at the time
Nintendo.
as a game tester.
Okay. And did you guys ever have any serious talks about, hey, we're serious, I love you?
No.
Okay.
No. It was. I mean, yeah, we loved each other, but in terms of a future, no,
Not there yet.
Okay.
not there yet. She
So-
was pretty young.
Let's touch on this word love real quick then. How were you showing love to each other during this 2 years?
Supporting one another, or just like
Yeah, were there actual talks about like, hey, like we see a future in this, with each other. You ever
mean,
want to have kids?
The Filipino girl was definitely it was much more on the physical aspect, but we did go on dates here and there. I would visit her when she was working at Children's Hospital, often when I was able to. But in terms of now looking back, now you're making me reflect. It really actually wasn't that serious of a relationship. Actually,
Did she make more money than you, or were you making more money than
I
her?
was
the
making more
same.
money than her
Okay.
for sure.
Okay. So did she ever express that she wanted commitment from you then? Did she ever say, hey, what are we? What there's gonna be a certain time
she
where
never
a girl,
asked that question. No, I just realized that no.
so she never ever once said, hey, what does our relationship mean?
No, she never asked that. Like I said, you're making me reflect on
Okay.
these
Okay.
questions you're asking. She never asked it.
So then, how did you find out that she cheated on you, and why do you think she cheated on you then?
Everyone knew.
Is it a circle of friends?
Okay, well, maybe we'll get to what your guys' opinions is on the subject matter, but why do you think? Why do
How
you?
did I
How'd you
know?
find
Yeah,
out?
how did you find out, and
Or
why do you
find the
think she
hints?
cheated on you?
I,
Because real quick, it's this is very true. This is RP content, right? Okay,
right.
It's very, very, very motivated. Let's just say premeditated murder when a woman decides to cheat on a man.
Yeah.
Right? For a man, it's very simple. I mean, shit, you know, we want sex all the time, right? So some girl comes up to us and say, hey, do you want to smash? Let's do this, right? Obviously, if we're smart and we don't think with down below, right? We might say, okay, hey, I don't want to ruin what I got. I don't want to ruin my marriage or my relationship,
Yeah.
right? But for us, it's kind of hard because it's kind of like, you know, this is a very huge urge to do so, right? And normally, I'll be honest to you, most guys don't get the opportunity to be like, hey, shit, I got free pussy. Let's do this, right? So that being said, because it's kind of premeditated in a way when a woman does it, right? Why do you think?
It was because she was going to college at the time, and I think she met someone who I guess seemed like would fulfill her needs more. And she met this guy.
In what way? In what way?
I don't know. I guess she saw more of a future with him because she felt like she was maturing when she was going to college, and she met this Caucasian guy. And
How old was she at that time?
What's she going to call? 20-ish.
20, 19 or 20, somewhere along there.
So still very young.
Still very young.
Still, and
Which is
she
probably
had,
why we didn't those questions weren't asked.
Yeah.
and she had a job, right?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think she did.
So she was just volunteering
She was
at
volunteering at
Children's
Children's.
Hospital. She
Yes.
didn't have a job, and she never ever once expressed to you long-term commitment or wanting kids or anything like that.
Dang.
She
Now
never
she
expressed.
mentioned
She
that.
never
Yeah.
expressed that to you at all.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Coming from her. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard that question ever out of her. You're,
Okay.
you're right.
Was she very traditional then?
Hell no.
She
Not
was
even close.
She was not
Okay.
traditional.
Not even
Laughing.
close.
Okay, so you wouldn't say that she was like a virgin or had a low body count.
Oh, I took that card.
Okay,
so-
listen.
Oh, okay, so she was a virgin.
Yeah, she was.
Okay, so hey, that's actually kind of traditional in a way then,
Kind of.
right? Because most women nowadays are not traditional in that sense. Okay. Okay, so she was very traditional. She didn't very express these things to you. How about a parent structure? Did you get to know her family at all?
I
you?
did. I did know her parents were really sweet. The dad definitely came off as trying to be tough and a little bit intimidating, but I got to see a softer side, and I really had a lot of respect for him. And the mom definitely saw good things and good traits about me, and it because we met through my mutual godmother, because we were all under the same tutelage of piano under her.
Did the dad or the mom ever pressure you, say, "Hey, what's going on with my?"
The mom was the closest thing, because she
Yeah.
was like, you know,
How long in the relationship when she started pressuring you?
about a year and a half into it.
Okay, so year and a half, and then literally a half a year after that, she cheated on you.
Yep.
Okay. After a year and a half, after the mom pressured you, what was your answer to them? Did you ever express to them that you were going to take their daughter seriously and maybe?
I did. I told Auntie, as I called her, like, yeah, I'm really serious about your daughter. I think she's really sweet. And she's like, you know, I think you're a good boy. You work in the church. I love what you do. If you go all the way with her and do things, that's great. But I want you to still be respectful of my daughter, is what I remember her saying.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. And how did you, in that half a year, just that little time frame, right? From the time that you guys, you know, you expressed that to the family, and from the time she cheated, what were you doing to kind of show her that you were moving towards that goal?
Who, the mom?
No, the mom or the girl.
Oh, that's a very good question.
That's what I'm here for.
I guess mostly just trying to make, because here's the problem. When I was at Nintendo, it was a contract to contract.
Yeah.
And it was through a contracting company called Aerotech. My goal at that time was to try and get what we call a red badge, because I was a green badge, which is what all the temporary employees wear.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get a
wanted-
full-time gig.
I wanted a red badge, and I wanted to be full-time.
Okay.
and it was very competitive, and I was trying to show both auntie and the girl at the time that I was trying to be serious about this and hopefully provide and do something more. And I guess
Did you do it? Did you make it during that 6 months or no?
no.
Okay.
It was because it was so competitive.
Did you
It was so tough.
Did you get let go during that time?
Yes, I did. I did.
Do you think that was a huge contributing factor? For
I
her?
don't think so.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like it, because I was still claiming unemployment. And at the time it was, I was still living with my parents, and I just got a car at the time, which I really missed that car. You probably remember it, the TC. I just got it at that time.
Okay.
And
So I'm gonna dig a little bit deeper, because this is very interesting that you took a girl's virginity. Typically when that happens, she's very bonded to you, right?
yes.
Very traditional family, from what it sounds like.
Yes.
Just being a virgin in this day and age is very traditional in general already.
Yes. Yes.
You expressed that you were going to provide this commitment and potential long-term goal with her, and you were showing that through your work. What signs did she show you that you weren't providing what she needed? Did she show you anything in that 6
No.
months, 1 year?
No, not at all. Not at all.
So she was still giving sex to you. She was still having intimate sex with you. No problem. No fighting about it at all either. Like she was still into it.
she was into it, but we did have a lot of arguments. Like a lot of stupid young people.
So what was those arguments about?
Oh, just are you cheating on me? Are you doing this? Are you hanging out with your ex? Blah 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 blah.
He blamed you that you were cheating on her.
Shut it.
Is that what the
She thought that I was, when I really actually wasn't.
Yeah.
okay.
She had a lot of reservations, and she was scared and blah 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 blah, and had a lot of insecurities, and I guess she just decided to just move on.
Okay.
So
Okay, so besides those arguments, physically, everything else in the relationship seemed like it was
good.
normal.
it seemed normal, yeah.
And she never for once asked you hey, where's this relationship going?
No.
Only the mom brought it up.
Wow.
Only the mom brought it up. Yeah,
And you said she was pretty young too, right? 20
yeah,
years
she
old.
was pretty young.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a very interesting. Do you regret that relationship? Would you do something different
To hold on
in that
to it.
relationship if
To
you had
repair.
if you had a
To
second
be
round
honest, I do kind of regret that relationship a little bit, and I kind of wish I worked on the Caucasian girl a little bit more,
of it? Which one, the
honest.
first one or the second one?
The first one. The second one, no. The first one for sure. Yeah, I wished I worked on that more and communicated better, for sure. Communicated better, because she's a really nice person. I'm still kind of in contact.
Oh,
That's a good question.
okay.
Okay, real quick, we had a question. So
Okay.
what's the question?
Go for it.
Yep.
The question's from Cynthia. From this conversation, have you learned what you're looking for in a relationship to make it long term? What questions should you ask going into a relationship?
Is that for everyone or is that just for Philippe?
I think it's aimed to you.
Of course it is. I've definitely learned a lot from what I've been through, and yeah, I'm starting to learn and understand what I want more in a relationship. And it's a little simple, but it's definitely more on the elevating part of things. And
So
yeah,
besides the one time that have you cheated more than one time on other girls in the past?
I think the first one was the only one, because everything after that was more like
And
not really.
and
I didn't want to because of personal reasons.
okay. And did she break up with you because of the cheating, or did you break up with her?
I broke up with her because I felt awful.
Okay.
I
All right,
felt
so
completely awful about it.
got it. And then the next few relationships, did they break up with you or did you break up with them?
They broke up with me.
Okay, so the Filipino chick obviously cheated on you.
Yeah,
Broke up with you,
right.
right? Chinese girl after that, right? You said?
That was the one. That was the one I actually saw somewhat of a future with, to be honest.
And she broke up with you as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no! Come on. Just say it. Just say it.
Okay, it looks like we get another comment on the show, right? Yeah.
I think this comment was in regards to you cheating because you said you cheated on one.
Oh no. Okay, what do we got?
Here we go.
The comment was be truthful.
Ah, so have you cheated more than once that we don't know about?
Okay, the viewers
Wait,
want
wait,
to
wait,
know.
wait. That was. Oh my gosh.
Somebody knows more than you.
Yeah.
Well, it was the first one more more than once. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you cheated more than one time.
Yeah,
But it was just that one girl.
One
that you-
just that one girl. Because like
One
I said, I
girl.
was young. I didn't know what I wanted.
Okay.
What? So
You don't have to reveal it if you don't want to.
It's
you
the
know?
viewers.
there's some viewers in here that I'm just like, oh boy. That's why I was kind of worried being on this show a little.
No
bit.
worries, no worries. Hey, we'll keep that low key if
Yeah.
that's not need to be
For the
revealed.
viewers.
Okay, so I'm trying to get to the bottom of this because so now most of the relationships past this, you have been dumped. The person has been dumped you, right? Like they left you.
Yes.
Why do you think that is? What's the main reason?
It might be because I just probably should have been working on myself and being better on myself about things. And I tried to, and then there are times where I really tried to fight hard to do the best I could. And they would just, funny enough, the Chinese and the Chinese and the Filipino girl both just kind of up and left.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get right to it, okay? And obviously I want to develop this. There's a reason why I've been asking the questions the way I've been asking, okay? But it looks like you haven't had a hard time with women, right? You've been you've had a decent amount of How many relationships have you been in your lifetime? Six, okay. And how long each one in general on average?
About 2 years usually.
2 years. And the majority of them break up with you, right?
Not the majority. It was like, I'd say it's half and half because I ended.
3 and 3.
Yeah, I'd say it's 3 and 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So the ones that broke up with you, all right, 2 years, right? And what was the reason why you think they broke up with you? Because you weren't working on yourself, right?
I feel like I wasn't working on myself and I needed to look deep within myself and actually be
Yeah.
better.
Okay.
about it.
So now if I had to ask you a question, right, Philippe, if I had to ask you a question, what are the things that you need to work on if you are saying that you need to work on yourself?
Definitely just, I guess, be more accepting of myself and just kind of, definitely a little bit more on the cleaner side of things, if you know what I mean. Just maintenance on myself in terms of just where I want to be in my life. I guess maintaining, like, even just trying to have a clean life of,
Okay, before we get into
it's
that,
kind of hard to.
yeah, I'm going to dig into it in a little bit, but before we get into that as well, what makes you think that these women, because you've had a successful attraction to women, right? You can attract women, right?
Yes.
What do you think is your traits that attract women to you?
Yeah.
People have been telling me I'm unapologetically myself. I don't care what people think. I'm the nerd that I am, and I kind of embrace it. I mean, I used to be shy about it. I definitely was very, very shy, especially in high school, because I was liking stuff that now is definitely accepted. But back then, oh no, you would get flamed, made fun of, and all sorts of stuff about it. But the more I became more comfortable about it, I just started to just not care. And then, of course, working in customer service jobs, like at independent video game companies, and of course Nintendo, and now Facebook and Walgreens, it was like my confidence just kind of went through the roof. I became much more talkative. I became more personable. I like to talk to people and be like, hey, how are you doing? That kind of thing. And it's just.
So did you approach most of these girls that you eventually got relationships with, or did they approach you?
Most of them I approached.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you cold approached them
Yeah.
and said, hey, how's it going? What's your name? That type of stuff, right?
Yeah, more or less. More or
Okay.
less.
All right, so confidence, guys, we talk about it all the time, right? Just knowing who you are, obviously, being comfortable in your shell, right? And being able to express that, right? That goes a long ways towards being attractive to the opposite sex, right? And I think that's what Philippe kind of discovered with that, right?
Yeah, I didn't find my confidence until like way later in my life.
How old?
Maybe like mid to late 20s was when I started to feel a lot more confident because
So then how would the first few relationships in your 17, 18, 20, how did you attract those girls then?
musical talent.
Hey,
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. They
hey
do
guys,
like music.
this is I knew that, I knew that, but I had to ask the question because, hey, guys, this is why you got to be accomplished in something, okay? Women find men who are competent, right, attractive. You got to be competent, accomplished in something. You got to go out there and prove yourself in one way or other. And whether that's musical talent, whether that's finance, whether that's working out, right? Whether that's even just having a hobby, being really good at it, you gotta show competency. Women are not gonna date, unfortunately, stupid ass men, right? You gotta have show, because competency leads to what? Do you understand? Do you know what competency leads to?
No.
It leads to accomplishments, which generally leads to obviously financial reward, right? That means you can make money. And then, of course, it leads to something that you touched on. What was the last thing that it touches on? What does it lead to eventually that you just touched on?
Like just confidence in general.
Yes, right? So we always say all the time, competency leads to accomplishments, which leads to confidence. And that's what's going to attract women.
Yeah, I just figured out like in my mid to late 20s, like that, like everything kind of changed. I was like, wait, I can be a nerd and still somehow talk to women and they'll be attracted to me? What?
Yeah.
What? That's not that concept doesn't make any sense to me.
All right.
You
So
know?
now we're getting to the bottom of the story now, because now you can attract them. You have the confidence. You're not a bad looking dude either, right? And you're above average height. How tall are you?
5'8.5".
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're above average height, or at least average height, right?
Yeah, about average height.
Above average height for Asians, right?
Yeah.
Asians are
Yeah.
only 5'6"
More
is
or
the
less.
average Asian height, unfortunately. So you and I, shake your hand over here. You know, we're both 5'9" or taller,
5'9".
That's
right?
what's up. That's what's up.
Right. So
yeah.
So what is it then that thinks why can't you retain a girl then?
I heard that.
Hold it in, Liz. Hold it in.
Because this is gonna help our Asian sisters too. I'm going to the heart of the matter right now. Why
Hold
can't
your
you
drinking, Liz. We don't
retain?
want-
Why
I
does
guess the biggest thing that I
Yeah,
feel like
that's what I'm saying.
I'm trying to get better about is definitely communication. 150% is definitely communication, because I did not communicate with the first one, and
but communicating what though?
just what I wanted and what I didn't like about what they were doing. Because, you know, in that first relationship, they were doing things that I was kind of like, that's not cool.
Can you be specific?
They were kind of taking advantage of the fact of, oh, hey, you're staying here now. Okay, let me raid your fridge, or let me do this and that, or
At your parents' house.
yeah, or even my brother's place too. And I was just like, if we offer, it would make more sense. But if you're going in there to raid and you're kind of getting too comfortable and you're just kind of like,
Did you think there was maybe an ethnicity, culture difference in that regard?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Now, in your defense, though, you were only 17 at this time, right?
True.
So you weren't the man that you became. So you weren't confident at that time.
No, hell no. Not
I'm
even
talking
close.
more about now. Now you're 20, 21 and older, right? Obviously, you're in your 30s now, right?
Yes.
But your relationships that you had in your, early to mid 20s, right? You've gained your competency because of your musical talents, right? Because of just finding out, hey, I am a nerd. I am who I am. I'm comfortable in my shell.
Yes.
I can talk, right?
Yes.
So now that you have that confidence in place, right? Why are you not retaining the girls now?
Like I said, I think the biggest thing is definitely communication and just, self-growth on myself, that I need to just personal things I just need to work on more or less than anything else.
Okay,
sure.
so I'm going to touch on the personal growth here in a second, but the communication with your current relationships, or maybe even this last one that failed, right?
Right.
What was the lack of communication there?
I actually was communicating more than I usually would. And the other person was, they had their own set of issues for sure. And this person, the last relationship I was in, was pursuing me for a very long time. And like, she definitely was pursuing me. The most vulnerable part I will never ever forget was 2015. I was in a vulnerable point in my life. I was hurting, and she was kind of there along with 8 other people, other girls.
Yeah, you were juggling.
Yeah,
Okay,
I was hurting.
and you were vulnerable. And you were vulnerable?
Hell yeah, I was
Wait a
vulnerable.
minute, here, you said you're juggling 8 girls.
Yeah, I mean, most guys want to
Wait a
be
minute.
vulnerable like that. I mean, I want to be vulnerable like that, and I'm in a marriage. You know?
No. So that
So
That
I
year
need
was
some
very, very
I need
tough.
some clarification of vulnerability.
vulnerability was I lost one of my favorite, my favorite grandmother at that time, and I was being cheated on also at that same time.
Okay.
Wait up.
That you got 8.
I'm not hating on your grandma. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, that sucks,
Yeah,
man.
that's
Like, you know,
sad.
my father died, my grandfather died. I totally get it. But how are you saying you're getting cheated on when you're dating 8 women at the same time?
No, that was before I was seeing the.
Oh, okay.
So after the cheating and after she left me, I just said, you know what? Girls seem to like douchebags. Let's see what that world is all about. And I did that, and I was like, this is kind of awful. What? How is this a thing?
Let's backtrack a little bit then.
Sure.
You said she cheated on you. Mm-hmm. Okay. During your grandmother's death and after your grandmother's death, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Why do you think she cheated on you?
Summer love. That's what she told me.
Just a summer girls night
Summer
out,
fling.
hot girl summer.
Summer fling. Summer thing.
Do you believe that? Because we just went, we just talked about it, guys, and we know this in a very, generalized statement. It's not true 100% of the time, but when a woman cheats, it's already been planned for a while now, right?
Right.
She's already lost her love. She doesn't see a future with you already. So why do you think she cheated, looking back on it now?
Because I think she didn't like that we were arguing more than we should have, but at the same time, I was trying my best to communicate my needs.
Arguing
And
about
also-
what?
Just looking back, I mean, that was like 8 years ago.
Think
So,
deep.
8 or 9 years ago.
Do you need help with this one?
Please.
What do you think, Liz?
He was in school, and the girlfriend that cheated, felt like he could have done better because she's Chinese.
Better in what?
In school.
Okay.
So since she's Asian, she's very academic. Academics are up there for her, and she didn't like that he wasn't taking his studies seriously.
Okay. Which leads to what again? Right. Well, we just talked about competency leads to accomplishments. Which
I was never good in school is the other thing
okay.
too.
So now that we've kind of painted this clear picture, or at least I think it's pretty clear, right? Why do you think she cheated on you? Why do you think these girls that have kind of, been wanting you to commit to them, but eventually says, hey man, I don't see a future with him. I'm going to cheat. Hey guys, we'll get into that in a
there
second,
later.
okay?
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
The
why?
moment I start talking, the
Our
comments
viewers,
just go.
huh?
You're trending, man.
Yeah. Hey, don't worry about the naysayers, all right? We're gonna get to the bottom of this. We're almost there. We're almost there.
there.
Why do you think they're cheating on you?
Because I guess I wasn't providing and being the person I should have been in a sense.
When you mean not being the person you should have been, and how so?
More successful, taking things serious, and just being responsible for my own actions and responsible for at that time when I was going to school. Because I mean, at that time when I was going to school, I'll be honest, I was not a fan of it. I was not a fan of going back. I only basically did it because in a sense there was I guess security, job security of, hey, if I go into medical, I will have benefits, everything will be good, and maybe I can provide for this person. And despite the fact that I may not be a fan of it, maybe I can learn to enjoy it.
Okay, so now we've hit the nail on the head. I mean, I hope everyone got it out there, but yes, a huge part of it is being able to provide for the female, able to provide,
Correct.
for the mother of your children. Okay, so now that we've kind of touched on that nail, right? So why do you think you have a hard time, I guess struggling with that aspect? Because you're saying a couple contradictory things,
Okay.
and I want to, because I'm going to get to the ladies here too, because a lot of that was touched on from them, what they said as well too, right?
Right.
She said, for example, Jasmine said that she wants her current man now, right? Because I've been listening to everyone, I'm paying attention very, very closely, right? She said that she wants more from him. Right? And
Right.
you know, and it's getting there, right? So what do you think? Why can't you take that extra step to do that? Because you contradicted yourself earlier because you said you want to find a woman now
Yes.
that can support me,
Well, I mean, not support,
but
but
make you a better man.
correct.
Correct. Do you think really women want a man that they can make better?
Probably not.
That's my point, right? They want natural leaders. They want someone who's
course.
already a go-getter themselves.
Of course.
Yeah. So is that really the right answer to change your current situation or past situations?
Well, I never really thought too deep into something like that, to be honest. Just because I like this relationship talks just never really happened too often with me. And now looking back at it, yeah, no, there needs to be some. I mean, like I said, I've been taking this year to like kind of look within myself and just kind of say, you know what, changes definitely need to be made. You need to take more responsibility, and you need to be more diligent on what you want, and of course maybe find a career that can actually be a better and providable how do I say it, a providable career, to not just for yourself, but if you ever decide to have someone, it can be beneficial for the both of you. But working on myself has been much more of an eye-opening and very good experience for myself.
Do you get a little clingy when you get into relationships?
Yeah,
Okay.
I will admit to that.
Is it a fear? Do you think that you would lose your significant other if you don't become clingy? Like, meaning that, like, hey, I want to give her so much attention. Hey, like, hey, babe, what are you doing? I love you this morning. Text you, hey, hearts. And do you do that bullshit? And do you feel that you will lose that girl if you don't do those things?
Back then, yes. Now, it depends. It really, really does depend, because sometimes girls want their space, and I'm absolutely respectful of that.
I would argue, I think it's better if you're just on your purpose, becoming a better man,
Yeah.
and don't worry about what the woman, attention. Like, she has to be wanting your attention, is what I'm trying to say.
Fair.
Be on your pursuit of being a best man you can be, and then she will obviously want your attention.
Yeah,
You giving her the attention all the time is the problem, and you not being on your purpose is the problem.
That's true. I can admit to that. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah. Most
All
women
right.
want man to lead and have a purpose
to
in
read
life and everything else.
Who wants to read these two
So
questions?
I wanted to segue that because I want to get the ladies' take now, right?
Okay.
So we're
Oh.
gonna go this way and ask Yen.
Do we-
Oh, what's the comment? Go
There's
ahead.
two questions
Yes,
that are
go ahead.
directed to Philippe.
Okay.
I was asking who wants to read it.
Okay.
boy.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh boy.
You want to read it?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Philippe.
Jasmine's gonna read it.
Yeah.
Do you think you could ever stick to just one woman, be fully invested emotionally and physically with one girl at a time? Don't you want someone to settle down with by age 35?
At some point, yes.
To the second question, I would say there's no time, but the question wasn't directed towards me. I'll
Well-
shut up now.
Oh, the second question was directed towards you.
No, it wasn't.
It was a
I'm
general.
answering for him.
What was the second question?
Do
Real
you
quick.
want someone to settle down with?
Okay.
by age
I would like to,
Yeah.
but at this moment in time, I'm actually. I mean, yeah, I'm looking, but at the same time, not really looking as well.
Let me ask you a very black taboo question.
Okay.
If you became the man that you think you can be, right, best version of yourself,
Okay.
right, would you only want one woman?
Yes,
Okay, and why? Why do you think that?
because then if I am able to fulfill their needs, and I am happy with the way they, I guess, treat me in a sense, then yeah.
Do you think one woman can fulfill a man sexually by herself? Be honest now.
Repeat that one more time.
Do you think one woman can sexually satisfy a man all by herself?
Yes, I believe that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I see where your mindset's at. Okay. So you think you're going to bust your butt this next, let's say I'll give you 5 to 10 years, right? You're 35 now. You know, men don't usually peak until their late 30s, early 40s, right? The majority of millionaires are in their 50s, right?
Right.
I didn't become successful until I was in my mid to late 30s either, right?
Right.
So you think you're going to bust your butt for the next 5 or 10 years, be the best man that you can be, and you think you're only going to want one woman?
Yes. Actually.
There you go.
Okay. All right. And what makes you think that you will be faithful to this one woman? What's
Previous experiences and what has happened in my family life.
Okay.
okay. All right. And how would you show that then? What would you do? What would you do to show her that she's the only one for you?
I mean, I don't like. I would say attention, but I don't want to give too much attention. More or less. Obviously, giving space, making sure I can provide to the table, and be responsible and do the things I should be doing. And yeah, I mean,
I'll give you the answer to that at the end.
Okay.
All right. Because I
Fair.
want to get to the ladies, give them some airtime now, right?
boy, I can't believe I'm trending.
And of course, hey guys, if you guys have any other questions or comments for Philippe or the rest of us, right? Definitely feel
Yeah.
right. Okay. So yeah, you stated that you're not currently in a relationship, or at least not so actively looking,
Yeah,
right?
no, not
Okay.
actively looking.
Right. So this is kind of a question for all the ladies, right? Because I know, Liz, you got you're engaged, right? Jasmine, you got
It's okay to want more than one woman.
a man. Yeah, we'll get into that, right? So you guys have all had, except for Liz, right? You guys have all had a painful, traumatic, prior relationship with the man cheating on you, right? And this is the argument I'm trying to make because we kind of touched it upon with him. So I wanted to kind of get it onto you guys, right? Do you think men and women cheat the same? Do you think it's the same for a man or a woman?
It can actually vary. I mean, there were actually polls done.
Just on a general basis. If you had to ask, 10 guys and 10 gals what cheating is or what they think cheating is, right? Do you think men and women cheat the same?
I would like to say no, just off the top of my head without thinking too hard.
Okay. So how do you think, so if they don't cheat the same, how do you think they cheat differently then?
I mean, like you said earlier, like majority of guys, not all guys, like want the sex.
Okay.
They want the sex, so that's why they cheat. It's not all guys, but a lot of them. And just from my personal experience, that's what I've seen. But I know not all guys cheat because they want the sex. It could be emotion based too. I feel like females, like women, they may tend to cheat on like an emotional aspect. But at the same time, it can vary. Some women just want the sex.
Okay.
Like they want new sexual experiences.
So you think there are women out there, the majority of women. So if we had to ask, let's say 100 women, you think there's a significant amount of women that would cheat because they're just promiscuous like men are? Like they just want sex just as bad as men are?
Yeah, I mean, women are just as I feel like women are just as equally.
What
like
is the
their sex drive.
percentage? What is the percentage you think? If we had to ask 100 women, is it 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, or is it, 90-10 that women?
Ooh, I can't really put a number on that. I mean, I want to say maybe 50-50 or probably.
Oh, so you think it's that high? There's 50%
I mean,
of
it
women.
depends on like your own sexual drive.
Yeah.
Well, then let me show.
But-
So let me see a raise of hands from the ladies. Would you guys just want to go out there and sleep with just random men, multiple sexual partners, if you had your choice?
I honestly want
I'm in the.
You're kind of in
She's
the
in
middle.
between.
right? Liz.
I can't really say anything because my man keeps me very satisfied.
So you would prefer sleeping with just one man, though?
Yes.
Same with you, Jasmine, right? How about you, honey? Since you're a female in this relationship too.
Oh, you're putting me on the spot?
Yeah, I'm putting you on the
Okay,
spot
the host
too.
on the spot. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
because we need a perspective from all the sisters in the room, right?
well, for me, just one. You're fine.
I'll take that. I'll take that. So we have one female, but I mean, ideally though, if you had your choice, your preference, would you prefer sleeping with multiple men or just one man?
Multiple, but I can't just do it random strangers like in the club or something. Like I can't just do it with just a random stranger that
So you
I
have to
don't
get to know them.
Yeah,
You have to
I'd have to get to know them
Yeah.
to a certain point. I just can't be like, hey, you want to smash in the club? That kind of irks me.
So let's say you get to know a guy, right? Like, you become friends. You say, how many men in your current date a friend pool would you consider sleeping with?
Friend zone.
Well, no, not
right
friend
now?
zone, no.
Oh,
Yeah.
who I know.
Yeah, all the men that you would consider that you feel comfortable enough to make that statement that you just said, right? Because you said you wouldn't just sleep with some random stranger. You need to get to know them. So out of the men that you know well enough, right? How many of them would you just actually would want to sleep with?
Very few. Maybe like
So what's that number? 10 guys, and it's like 2 that you would want to sleep with, or
probably just 2.
and how out of how many men?
Like that are my guy friends?
Yes.
I don't even know how many guy friends I have. Oh my gosh.
How many guy friends do you roughly have?
Off the top of my head, probably 10 or less, but yeah.
Okay, so
Or
you got
like maybe 15, but I'd have to go through and count. I'm like,
no worries. So 10 to 15, somewhere in that
But
range.
just 2.
And
that
2.
honestly.
So would you say from that statement then that you would prefer not to sleep with a lot of men? You would prefer only to sleep with 1 or 2 men of a certain caliber?
That you know.
Yeah, because I have to get to know them. So, and also I have to be attracted to you in some way. I can't just sleep with you because you're free or you're available.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just like, if I don't find attraction to you, I
Let's
can't
make
do
that
it.
delineation, right? Let's make that standard.
Yes.
What is it about those 2 guys that you would potentially sleep with versus the 13 guys that you want? What is that clear attraction
That you're looking
that
for.
you're looking for that would make those 2 guys qualify?
That's a difficult question. I mean, attraction can mean many things to people. It can be physical attraction or personality combo.
Okay.
For me, it's
maybe
like
just
combo.
maybe just maybe a couple traits. What do you think about their traits versus the rest of the guys?
I think just like their personality.
Personality.
Personality and also looks.
Okay. Ethnicity of these guys?
I'm choosing not to say, but not Asian.
Not Asian. Okay, so non-Asians, fine. How about the rest of the guys? Asians, non-Asians? How many are Asians? How many are non-Asians in the rest of the 10 or 13 guys?
I think majority are Asian, maybe like 50 or 60%.
Okay.
Okay, so about half and half.
Okay, probably 70% are Asian, but
70%. So
not
70.
too many are not Asian.
Okay. And what is it about the Asian dudes then? Because the majority of them aren't attractive on that level. What is it about them that you don't find attractive?
I don't know. For me, it's like I'm friends with them because of their personality, of course, but something about them I'm just not sexually attracted to.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is like, I don't know, just like sexual attraction. Like I don't feel it, or like chemistry. Sometimes you can't really describe chemistry. You just kind of feel it.
Well, let
with
me
that
put out
person.
some points there. I mean, there's physical attraction, right? So are they
Like
ugly? Are they not tall? Are they not physically like in shape?
They're
Let's start with-
tall. I don't find like all of them like attractive, like cute, but they're not like ugly. They're not ugly, but I don't particularly find that they're cute, like enough to attract me in that type of way.
Okay. And then how about their other, I guess, pragmatic values? Are they well-to-do? Are they educated? Do they make a little amount of money?
I think career and money for me, career is subjective because I feel like everybody,
Are you a high earner yourself?
I'm trying to get there, but I feel like growing up as an Asian American, career was like the number one thing that was pushed
Yeah.
blatantly into your face. Like the minute you're born, it's always about the career and the money. And it's important, of course, because you want to be able to provide for yourself or a family if you choose to have a family.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to break away from the generational trauma of just like, you have to earn a lot.
Who pushed that on you? Your mom and your dad, or both?
Traditional. Right?
Both, like the whole culture, parents, relatives, extended family. Just,
And then did you come from a pretty well-to-do background then? Was your parents fairly successful?
we started, in my eyes, as a kid, and right now, we started out successful. But then family situations happened, and then things plummeted and went lopsided.
Yeah.
So I was pushed into like a different lifestyle I wasn't used to.
Yeah.
And then even though my parents were successful to my eyes back then, and then we kind of became in debt and everything,
Yeah.
throughout that whole time, just career was always pushed. It was just like, because
Did they push it on you harder then because of that? Because of that kind of that downturn? They were like, hey, Yen, we need you to be successful now. We need you to become educated and well-to-do.
I think they pushed it just because they were immigrants. They immigrated here, and not all people who immigrated here got the chance to go to school, to go to college. Very few of my relatives were able to go to college.
So they pushed you.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, this is not shaming.
Yeah.
So they pushed you.
They
I mean,
did.
we all came from it. Trust me. Like as Asians, we all. Hey guys, this like I said, I'm gonna start pushing on an Asian topic right now. Okay, because I knew this was gonna go this direction. So yeah. So your Asian, your parents push you to kind of become more educated, more successful, right?
Yes.
And then you did become successful, right? In your own right.
In my own right.
And you're
yeah,
making
not,
a decent, well-to-do living now.
not in like their eyes, like as much as
Are you
they
making
want.
6 figures or close to 6
Oh,
figures?
no.
Okay,
I
but
mean, like, success
Yeah.
can mean so many different things to people. It could be monetary success.
well, let me ask you
or-
this. So the average earner in America makes about $37,000 to $45,000 a year, right? Not that. Do you make above that? Are you above average then?
I think I'm just a little tiny bit, just a tiny bit, like hairline.
So this is the question that's going to be the tough question then, right? Do you think that push from your parents, from our Asian culture as well too, because I think this is a huge topic in our Asian culture, pushing upon you as an Asian female, Asian sister, right? Did that hurt your dating chances? Did that hurt you, finding men to be attracted to you, or are you attracted to men?
I think back then it did, because you just had to be always focused on school. You couldn't even think about boys. And if you did, you have to do it in secret or hide it from them. And at that time, it's just like, oh, you'll be good in school. And then they say they want you to date someone who's Asian or if possible, Vietnamese, because I'm Vietnamese. It's just like Asian, Vietnamese. They never really mentioned about boys and careers back then,
Yeah.
but it was just like no boyfriend, study, be good in school, be successful. So I didn't have much time to think about boys. I did think about boys, but
How about this? Did it skew kind of what standards you were looking for in your potential mate, right? Were you looking for someone with certain criterias because of that upbringing?
I'm pretty sure my first long-term boyfriend was someone who was ambitious or career-oriented.
Second Chinese guy or third Chinese guy?
The first.
First, okay.
First guy who was
first.
black and white.
Okay, so the first black and white guy was ambitious,
Yeah.
career-oriented. Okay, would you say that was a huge factor in terms of attraction to him? You saw a potential feature in him.
I mean, initially I didn't know he was career-oriented until later, but just probably from the way he talked, I had some unconscious idea that he was
Okay.
career-oriented. I thought I saw a possible future with him, but then I think the longer I went into the relationship, I wasn't sure. But then, you lie to yourself because you've just committed so much time into that relationship that I see I see a future with you.
Mm.
I think at one point I was ready to just scrap my family and push them to the side. Be like, I don't need family. I just need you.
Oh, so they objected that relationship
Oh, yeah,
because of his
no.
ethnicity?
Yeah, they objected it because of his ethnicity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very common, guys. Hey, this is not even. Hey, we want our viewers to understand that. I know we got a lot of Asian subscribers and a lot of Asian viewers, but to our non-Asian subscribers, it's not just non-whites. Honestly, it's even within our Asian ethnicities that you guys understand, like Vietnamese to Vietnamese, Filipino to Filipino. Like our parents want that, right? It's very that way, and maybe we'll talk about that on a different podcast because that's a whole other topic as far as why. Because I will argue. There's some truth in this, but I will argue the truth is racist. The truth is racist.
It is.
Right.
It is.
Very much is.
So, okay.
Just straight up truth is racist.
Yeah. So getting back on it then, how about the first Chinese guy and the second Chinese guy, the shorter term relationships, right? Did they have as much ambition as this the first black and white guy?
First Chinese guy, it was long term, but I don't really, in my eyes, I don't count it as a relationship. It was, but it was a rebound, unhealthy rebound. But he was still somewhat career oriented.
Okay.
Like he had an idea of what he wanted to do. I mean, he graduated with a bachelor, so he was trying to get a job that paid well. And he eventually did find a job.
More traditional family though, like compared to the black and white guy.
Yeah, traditional family. What do you mean traditional in the sense?
I guess because the black and white guy in our culture, right, in our community, would be considered like kind of an offshoot out of our community, right? Like, hey, you're going the westernized route. A lot of families, fair or unfair, they're gonna look at that like, hey, not traditional. What are you doing, right? Why are you dating an outsider, right?
Like a non-Asian.
Correct, right? So that rebound. You said it was a rebound, right?
Yes.
So was that rebound more towards the traditional side then?
Yeah, I actually not, because I was cheated on, and then I wanted to go traditional route. It was just like, hey, you are here.
Yeah.
In my time of hurt, like Philippe said, somebody was here.
So you knew this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody I've dated.
How long did you know him?
I mean, I knew him through school, but we didn't talk.
3-4 years.
Like 2 years.
So 2 years before actually getting with each other.
No.
Yeah, but we didn't like talk as like friends consistently. It was just like, I know you. We went to school together. That was
So
it.
you never hung out before then? You never had any type of
Not
interaction too much?
No.
Did he express any interest in you those 2 years?
Not that I know of.
Really? Okay. No texting, no calling, no...
No, it wasn't like the traditional sense. Like, I'm into you. I'm going to talk to you, try to text and flirt with you or anything like that. It was just like,
so who approached who after your breakup? Did you approach him or did he approach you?
I mean, I think he was talking to me.
In
'Cause-
your... Did you were like in a sad moment and he came up to you and be like, hey, how's it going? And are you feeling okay? Like that type of thing?
Kind of. I can't remember exactly how it went, the conversation, but I think he was the one who talked to me first because everybody knew each other because we all went to school together. That's the thing about dating in high school, and just everybody knows each other.
He was part of the circle.
Not part of the circle, but just same school.
Same school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did he know the situation between you and your first, serious boyfriend?
He just know I got dumped.
Okay, so he knew that you just broke up with somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, and so he approached you. You were attracted enough to give him a shot. He was a little bit more traditional in that sense. So you kind of like said, hey, this didn't work out with this westernized chance. Let me try a more traditional chance, right? What didn't work out with him then if it was more traditional? And he showed some type of ambition. He showed some type of motivation.
It was everything. This was the kind of rebound where you go for the person without any kind of logic or attraction. It was the kind of rebound where you reach out to them because you're hurting. It's not
So you reached out to him.
He talked to me, so I just kind of like
Opened up to him.
open up.
Okay.
I wasn't attracted to him.
Not at all. Physically, nothing at all.
No, it was because I was in such a dark place at that time.
Yeah.
I took whatever came.
Mm.
I did have somebody else who liked me at the same time too, but I chose to go with this person because I happened to be an adrenaline junkie at that time.
And what was
And
he doing?
he drove motorcycles. It was the dark side of a rebound. It's not even like you're my friend and like I have a good connection with you. It was just straight up, I'm hurting. You're here. I'm going to take what I have because I'm in such a dark place and all of my attachment wounds were being flared up. Like, I'm anxious. I don't want to be alone. I want somebody to cling to because of how I was raised.
And who broke up with who eventually?
I broke up with him because it just was not working. It's in a relationship, it's not always on one person. It's my fault too because I put myself into that situation. I chose to get myself involved with him. But
Would you say whose fault was it more? Whose fault was it more, you say, in that particular situation? And can you name one thing that he did wrong in the relationship and name one thing that you did wrong in the relationship that led to the breakup?
my side, my fault because I even chose to get involved with him in the first place. He was not a good fit for me, but I chose to stick around just because I was comfortable. Comfort is such a bad thing. Like once you get comfortable with someone, you can just end up settling, even though they're not giving you what you want. But you're in a situation where you don't want to work on growing, or you're just kind of stagnated. You don't want to move forward with like personal growth or anything. You're just comfortable with where you are and what they can provide you. It's always about like, what can they provide me? Like in that time of hurt, it was just like, what can you give me? What can I take from you? It was really toxic. But on his part, I can name many things. Personality was one. Anger management. I always felt like I had to walk on eggshells because he had an explosive personality. His anger was explosive. Sometimes it felt a little dangerous. And also, intimacy wise, just guys, you need to learn how to be intimate in bed. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, because that was.
Was he the one not packing or the one packing?
He was packing, but
he just didn't know how to use
he
it.
didn't know how to do anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was he? I'm not going to go too deep into that aspect.
Yeah.
But do you felt like maybe he was like maybe less skilled, like that didn't have previous relationships before?
He was the type of guy who just wants their own pleasure and just wants to put it in. Like, you're
Got
not
it.
focused on your partner. It's just focused on yourself and getting what you want, which is let me put it in. And I'm just like, I'm a human.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't work that way.
Yeah.
Okay. And before I get into what I was going to say, you broke with him and your second Chinese guy, right? So the relationship after him, how did you get together with him?
He was the guy who had a crush on me at that same time where I chose to.
And how long did you know him?
Him probably for like 2 years, but I stopped talking to him after I got into a relationship.
But you knew him a little bit better.
Yeah, I knew him a little bit better. We talked for a little bit before I just kind of ghosted him.
And who approached who after that second breakup?
I think we ran into each other at a rave.
Okay.
So
And then he hit you up, like he's like, "Hey, how are you doing?"
I can't remember if he hit me up after that or I hit him up, but we both ended up talking, reconnecting.
Would you say that third guy, the second Chinese guy,
Second
right?
Chinese guy.
Yep. Was he kind of in your friend zone? Like, you guys were knowing each other, right? You were cool with each other, but you never thought of like, anything with him sexually, anything, of that nature with him.
I did have a crush on him at that same time too, when I was going through my turmoil, like my rebound and everything. Like I had two people who basically liked me but I went with the option that was not healthy for me. I was not attracted to, just purely because I was like, oh, I mean, he can do things, like he can fix things, fix cars, like handyman,
And he really liked you though. That's that third
first
guy,
Chinese,
that second Chinese guy.
yeah,
really
yeah,
liked you.
he really liked me, and then I didn't go with him, so that broke his heart.
Okay. So why did you dump him real quick?
The second Chinese guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I was with him for like 4 years,
Okay.
but this is gonna be a topic that's totally out of the norm,
Okay.
taboo topic among probably Asians and just in general.
Let's hear it. I like this.
Where's it going?
I know. Hence why am I so dressed differently? Because I don't fit in with what everybody aspires for, which is like monogamy and marriage.
Okay.
I wanted to see more than one person.
Okay.
So like non-monogamy, polyamory, if you will.
And did you bring that up with him?
Yeah, I did. I brought it up with that second Chinese,
Yep. Yep.
my most recent ex.
Break. Yeah.
I brought it up with him, but like many people, they've never heard of it. And then when
Oh, so he didn't even know what.
he didn't know what it was. And then when I
And real quick to clarify, when you're talking about polygamy, were you saying just other women or men too?
not polygamy. Polygamy is when you're a man and you want to marry more than one woman. Me, I don't want marriages because that's not legal, first of all. I just want partners, like committed
But men and
relationships.
women though.
I just want to date men.
Okay, so you want to see other guys.
Yeah, I'm a straight woman. I just want to see other guys.
Relationship or just purely physical?
Relationships, not just purely physical.
So relationships as well too.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've had situations in the past where I was like attracted to other people in my relationships, in my long-term relationships. Not just like physically attracted to them, but I was like emotionally attracted to you too, on top of physical and like who you are as a person. But growing up in this society, it's monogamy or nothing. So I was like, oh no, I can't do that. That's wrong.
I
Or
would say
it's just cheating at that point. I'm like, no, I can't.
I would say it's not monogamous normally. I think most men would want, multiple sexual partners.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's normal to go the other way.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not accepting
It's
for
And-
society,
like a woman to want more than one guy. It's like more downplayed if a guy sees multiple women. It's like, oh, he cheated.
Let me ask you a
Or
harsh
like-
question regarding the other guy, the second Chinese guy that
Okay.
you said this to, right?
Yes.
Did he just not have what it needed to fulfill what you were looking for? Whether that was physical attraction, whether that was finances, right? Whether that was his status. Was he just lacking on these things?
If I reflect on it now, a big part of it was we needed to work on our communication also. Communication was a big factor. And
Him
also,
not communicating or?
both of us. It was both.
Mm.
Both of our faults. We didn't communicate like our wants or our needs. And if I reflect back on it now, the whole dynamic we got along well, but we weren't vulnerable with each other.
Was he a leader though? I mean, did he tell you like, hey babe, I'm gonna eventually marry you. I'm gonna have some kids with you. I really love you. I see you a long-term future with you in that respect, right? Hey, I'm busting my butt, getting a job. I'm gonna try to make what I can to get to that point. Did he express those things, or he just kind of like, hey, what do you want to eat today? Do you want to watch this movie? Hey, what should we do this weekend? Was he more of that, the second person?
It was a little bit of both. He didn't verbally express to me like I want to marry you, but it was kind of like hinted, and I could see that he was working so hard, like working 2 jobs, like graveyard and daytime. So he just basically never slept.
Got it.
And I could see that he was trying to better himself financially to be with me. I could see all of the changes in himself that he went through while he was dating me, like trying to self-improve. But it was never verbally expressed like, hey babe, I want to marry you, like I see a future with you or anything. But it
Was he that type of guy? Was he just that kind of that confident, outspoken guy though, or no?
I wouldn't say he was like confident. and outspoken. He was a little more reserved and quiet, except when he's partying or drinking.
Shorter guy or taller guy?
He's actually pretty tall.
How tall?
5'8", 9".
So above
He was-
average
he
for
was-
Asian,
yeah.
right?
I had to look up, so
Yeah.
he's tall.
Okay, so above
Yeah, so you're
average.
like,
Hey, no, that's
like, okay, well, okay.
that's
Yeah,
a,
look
that's a
up.
good rule of thumb. No, for sure. I think
But I
that's
had
a
to
lot.
look up, yeah.
Yeah, and then he was trying to work towards that thing, but he never really expressed that to you as well, too, right? He never expressed that. Hey, let's have a committed relationship. And then how was his I guess physical game? Was he the one with the small junk, or was he the one with the?
Here we go.
Y'all, all my friends who may have or may not be watching this, he was smaller, but
Did he sexually satisfy you though?
majority of the time, not like as much as I would want, but he knew out of everybody that I dated long term, he knew how to use it the best.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Like-
Even better than the black and white guy.
Yeah.
And the other two. Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
The
see,
other
Asian
two,
brothers.
the other two is
Satisfying.
important word is foreplay. Okay.
Yeah. There you
Ah.
go. She's
That's the
telling
most
you.
important word.
So he was a cunnilingus, right? Is that what they say?
It's just like I wouldn't say no. I mean, he didn't go down on me. Sometimes he did, but not always. But it's like
He know how to touch you, how to hold you, how
Yeah.
to kiss you the right way.
Caressing.
Kind of lead up to
kind of lead up, but
not just the straight sex.
but not fully
That's
at the
good.
same time. It was kind of short, and I'm like, I'm not ready. But he was ready. I'm like, okay, there's foreplay, but it's still super short term. I'm like, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
But okay, let's do it. Anyways, kinda-
So if he was better than all the other guys, right? What makes you? And this got maybe just a personal question,
Yeah.
but what makes you lacking on something then, right? Like what makes you feel like if the black and white guy wasn't the best put it down guy, right? And the second guy, the first Chinese dude, was pretty much just a self, obviously he just pleasured himself, right, for the most part. And this third guy was your best experience. I mean, why do you feel that you're still looking for more then? Because you want more relationships, you want other men sexually and relationship wise. Why is this third guy lacking?
self-awareness is very important also. Being aware of your own emotions and what you want, and being aware of your own personal baggage and personal trauma, and working through healing yourself is
Real
very
quick.
important.
Hey Andrew, can you check the front door for me? The front door. Yeah. Sorry about that, Yan. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Self-awareness, being emotionally intelligent, knowing about your own baggage and trauma, and working on yourself. I feel
So
like
what do you feel like you're lacking then? What do you feel like you're
Me
missing?
or
Yeah.
him?
No, you.
Oh.
Because you're still
Oh, what
finding
am I
yourself.
lacking
Yeah.
from him?
What are you feeling
That's
like
what
you're
I-
missing? What do you feel like you're missing?
that's what I was missing from him. Like he didn't have that sense of self-awareness or being aware of his own trauma and how he was affected growing up. For me, in a partner, I learned it's really important for me to date somebody who is self-aware of themselves, like, and why they're feeling the way they're feeling.
So he had a lot of insecurities.
Yeah, and
Mostly about what?
I want to say probably about how he grew up and how his family affected him, and how that in turn affected his own like emotional security.
Was a lot of it Asian related? Like, was his parents really hard on him, being like, an Asian son, and be like, hey, you got to be this, you got to be that?
I don't want to disclose too much, but I just want to say probably based on the parent and his relationship with his caregiver.
His caregivers. So he didn't.
I'm just gonna say in general, like caregiver, like the parent is your caregiver.
Okay.
They affected him, and that can in turn do a lot of damage to a child growing up. And if you're not aware of it, or if you don't go to therapy for it, it's kind of like the suppressed side of you.
Was it mostly financially related? Like say like, hey, you need to be this, you got to become a doctor, lawyer, engineer, you got to be the man of the house, you're the oldest son or you're a son of the family, you got to carry on our name. Was any of those type of topics ever came up?
Probably not with him. It's probably more of the parent who was not there for them.
Okay.
So that in turn affected him.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was come from a single parent household.
Yeah.
Mom or dad?
Dad. So
Okay, so the dad, he grew up with his dad.
yeah, so that in turn affected how he grew up and probably like his self-confidence and just learning how to be expressive in his emotions. He had trouble expressing his emotions, but I at the same time, it was also my fault because I didn't express myself. It was long term, but in a way, if I reflect back now, it was almost like surface level. Long term, it's like I'm comfortable, I have some sense of security, but it's not like a secure relationship.
Got it.
But at the same time, while I was in those relationships, all of my past relationships, I did feel like I loved the person, but I feel like I can love other people. Like that's why I was attracted to the other people.
Yeah.
In those relationships, like I really like you as a person, your personality. Like I want more with you. Just if you don't box human emotions into a box, like you can only love one person.
Do you have a lot of options? You?
Me?
Yeah. There's a lot of guys hitting on you. A lot of guys hitting on your DMs. If you're on Instagram, are you on Instagram at all? Are you on
Yeah, I'm
any
on Instagram. I mean, it's always like the random people hitting me up, just like one or two here, strangers. I'm like, I don't
a day
know.
or how many? Like, what would you say your count be on a given basis?
Not a lot. Probably just like in a week. It's just like one or two.
One or two?
I know it's people are like, what? Nobody hits me. I'm like, yeah, no.
How about just within your kind of like local social circle? Is there a lot of guys trying to hit you up? I mean, like you said, 15 guys. I mean, in terms of just friend zone guys.
They're like my brothers. No, they're like close friends.
Okay.
You really think they you think of them as brothers, but you really think that they think of you as brothers?
I mean, I know some of them had a crush on me, but I'm just like, I don't feel the same way.
Yeah.
Don't change my mind. It's not gonna happen. Some people think they can change my mind. Like, it's not gonna happen. Like,
Okay, so you don't think that's going to happen, but what do you think on their side? All these guys that know you, all these guys that are hitting you up, maybe from a friendship status. Do you think that they want to be friends with you?
yeah, I think they still accept me as like a friend. Like, I mean, what they feel, I don't know. Like,
What if I told you that they all want to sleep with you?
I'd probably be disturbed. I mean, like,
Okay.
not disturbed, only disturbed because like I don't feel that same attraction. So I'm like,
Do you think men and women can really be friends platonically?
yes, I have seen people who are platonic friends.
And how long do these so-called platonic friends knew each other?
Probably like 10 years or more.
10 years.
Like, just
okay.
we're friends, we're buddies.
And was the girl seeing dudes, like dating dudes and, having sex with dudes during this 10-year, this guy's waiting 10 years for her?
Yeah, but they're still just friends. Like, they're just like platonic, like close friends. It's not like people are sitting on the sideline waiting for something to happen between them or anything. They're just like close friends. I mean, it's possible. Not everybody feels the same way about that. Like men and women can't be platonic friends.
Sure. We're just talking in generalizations, though. I get it. There's always an exception to the rule, right? But, in general, right? Do you think men and women can really be friends?
Viewer says no.
Yeah. Yeah.
In my eyes, I want to say yes.
Okay.
But it takes a specific person to be able to be friends with me platonically.
Yeah. This is not a diss on you. This is
Yes.
more of a learning lesson for our Asian brothers and sisters and our viewers out there. But you are a very for lack of better words, a very common case study with the current dating market, right? You met someone at a very young age, and that person showed very signs of a good future, right? Regardless of the ethnicity, right? Right, but hit all the attractive measures for you and showed signs of it. Have you ever heard of the term alpha widowed?
Alpha widow?
Yeah.
I've heard of it, but not elaborated.
Okay. So in essence, it's like a girl that got with a guy who she thought was like the best guy for her, right? And unfortunately, one way or another, it didn't work out. And so now she's going to, regardless of, whether it's wrong or right, she's going to kind of base all future experiences, future relationships on that person.
Like the pain that they went through. No, because I was attracted to other people while I was dating him too.
Okay.
Even though I thought he was like, woo, I see a future with him, but I was also attracted to other people. And I was young, but like just throughout those 6 years, I was probably attracted to 2 or 3 people while dating him. Like at that moment, I was so in love with him. The me at that time was in love with him, but I still liked other people.
Yeah. Attraction wise, but you really thought that, going back to, because this is your own words, right? You thought that he was really potentially, because remember, you were going to give up your family for him.
Yeah.
Right. So you were thought that this could be something serious, right? Maybe you're going to be attracted to other people. Maybe eventually, you guys could have gotten into maybe like an open relationship. Maybe, right? That's still the case. But he was, by all accounts, the one for you at that time frame. Okay. And so this is a good learning lesson for gals, because for our Asian sisters, because when you get into a situation like that, and unfortunately for whatever reason it doesn't work out, right? That rebound, you gotta be very careful.
Be careful. Rebound.
You gotta be
Try
very
not to.
careful, because like I was getting back to it, men and women cannot be friends, right? Men have only intention to want to have sex with women, right? That's the only reason why we deal with y'all. I'm telling you right now.
Unless they don't like women.
As a dad, I get, no, as a woman, you have access to that, right? You have control of that, right? You say who has sex in this world, let alone this country, right? Otherwise, it's grape, right? We're going to get thrown in jail, right?
No grape.
Right? Exactly, right? So that's the point. So men and women can't be friends. So unfortunately, after that first hard breakup, right, this guy who's been kind of sitting in the wings, right, the first Chinese guy who was kind of sitting in the wings, bought his time, and unfortunately snuck in the best time. But he had no good intentions. He was just there for just the sex. He was just saying, hey, I'm friends with this girl. I'm waiting for my time to freaking, hit it. But I'm not going to freaking... And that's the reason why he was so cold to you, because he didn't really care about a long-term relationship.
I think at one point he said he wanted to marry me, that first Chinese guy, but I was like, sorry, you're like a rebound to me. It's not going to work out.
Yeah.
But in his eyes, he had this whole future for us. But in my eyes, it was just like, I need to end this. It's been going on too long. I've dragged it on too long. It's not healthy. It's not mutual.
No, I really respect you that for accountability, because a lot of women out there don't take that accountability. They don't say that was my choice. So I think a good part of you going through the process of healing, I think, was you taking that accountability, right?
Accountability is really important.
So kudos to you.
Being aware of your own emotions, literally just healing yourself and being aware of what you want, where you are at fault. It's not always the other person's fault. Like you did play a role in that relationship also.
True.
The downside, though.
Yes.
Because I always put the bad and the good, right? And obviously men and women, I always call out what it is, regardless. The downside, though, when you do that is you lower your value every time that happens. And what I mean by this.
Rebounds happen?
No, when you give out your fidelity to someone else, okay, your sex in essence, to someone else, right? And I hate to say it, because this is what men look for, right? And so, yes, there are some men that might be cool with it. Like going back to this whole open relationship that you wanted with the third guy, right? There's could be some potential men that are cool with that,
There
right?
are guys who are cool with that.
There are, but the majority of guys are only cool with it on their end.
Yeah.
Right. I want it to be open on my end.
I want all the women.
Yeah.
I want to sleep with all the people. I'm the guy. I want the people, but you can't. So literally, you can only sleep with one guy. They only want the woman to sleep with one person. There's a term for that, but I'm not going to go there.
Yeah. And that's the general consensus, and majority of men want that. Okay.
Yeah, that's why my dating pool is small now, because
Well,
it's not common.
well, I'm going to give you a warning. And like I said, I'm going to give you a warning to all our Asian sisters out there. It's not that that pool of dating men is going to be small.
Yeah.
But you have to remember, dating, this is the reason why I'm bringing it full circle now, right? With our reason, my very first question I asked you guys, right? What is the reason on why you guys are dating, right? And the reason, is there's going to be a lot of men that want to date you to fuck you.
Yes.
But there's not going to be a lot of men that want to date you to commit to you. Okay. And that's the problem.
That
right?
is the problem. It could be about the sex, always about the sex, but who actually likes you for you as a person, or like romantically? I mean, I don't meet too many polyamorous people in general, but it's just like,
will you be okay? Because just like how the third guy, the second Chinese guy, got with you, because even though he was not that bad, I hate to say it, I mean, he was probably, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but he was probably the beta out of those two other guys. He was probably less,
not the alpha.
oh, not the alpha compared to the other two guys. Are you content knowing what you want, which is totally fine? I don't shame women for what they want, right? You guys want the educated man, tall guy, hot looking, whatever. Don't shame women for that, right? But are you okay with the consequence of wanting what you want, right? But only going to get serious commitment by beta ass dudes moving forward.
Like in my future, I can only get commitment from like beta dudes.
Yeah, because no alpha dude is gonna want you having sex with another guy. I'm telling you right now.
There are people, but we're not gonna go there. It's just hard to find. Me, I feel like people always want to look for the guy with like that career. Like, are you earning a lot? Like how I grew up, I always see it as like, is that guy a leader? Is he earning a lot? Like how much?
And you're
like,
looking for that as well?
I feel like as time goes on, career to me is not as important. Like, of course, I want to be able to pay our bills, of course, and keep a roof over our heads. But I'm more focused on if that person is growing as a person and emotionally, like their journey on their life. I don't want someone who's always like focused on the grind, like making money. Just personal experience for me.
So when you mean that you want him to be more emotional, I mean, do you want him to like be there and like have more conversations with you, open up to you more about his problems? I mean, what do you mean by being more emotional?
Or acceptance of what you want, like how you want relationships, but be balanced at the same time, where he can accept this other guy and you guys work together and still pay and make the ends meet. Maybe
that would be
that
would be accepting, but I'm talking about his emotions, right? You're saying that he needs to open up more emotionally to you.
For me now, I'm not focused on like somebody's career. I'm focused on how much healing of your own baggage have you done. Like if I were to look for a potential future partner, I don't really care if you're making.
How would he express that to you though then? How would he express it to you that he is?
That is something you would have to sit down and discuss together and just talk to get to know each other. I feel like successful relationships, you need to have relationship check-ins. You need to check in with each other. It's not just like you blow up at each other when something goes wrong.
Okay, fair enough. But what if I told you that guys who have their shit together are super alpha, know what they want, they don't express those things?
There are people who are avoidant and they don't express their emotions. It's a matter of learning how to navigate that, because there are a lot of people who don't communicate what they want. But I'm looking for somebody who is willing. You don't have to fully open up to me about all your secrets, but like someone who shows that potential of they're trying to open up, even if it's slow, like they're willing to try to open up to that. Like speaking about their wants and needs. I feel like everybody I dated in the past never really expressed it. But for me now, that's not what I want. If I'm gonna date you, you have to somewhat be able to talk about it.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah. I mean, you don't want to be a cold asshole, right? And Be
Yeah.
like, hey, honey, like just come home, have sex, and then like, not say anything to your significant other, hug her, hold her the right way, right? But what I mean by that is that some guys who have their shit together, know what they're doing, know their purpose in life, they're not going to really express very much emotions.
I don't want those guys. Basically, is what I'm saying. I want you to be able to talk about your trauma. If you can't talk about your trauma with me, it's not gonna work.
How would you deal with his trauma if he had trauma to talk about?
Can't really fix somebody's trauma. The best you can do is actively listen and be there for them to just try to help them possibly process their thoughts. But
Would it also be safe to say that if he had trauma to talk about as a man, right? If he had trauma, would you say that he's not fixed his trauma then?
I wouldn't necessarily say you can always fix trauma. Trauma is always going to be there. It's just a matter of, can you be aware of when your triggers come up? Are you able to like pinpoint where those triggers come up from your trauma, or where do your triggers, what trauma is linked to your trigger? Like you're having a trigger, but where
So
does it come from?
let's say like if a man that you're serious about and he has some type of family situation. Let's keep it simple, right? Within
Yes.
our Asian culture, right? Pressure from parents to be the super successful guy, be the man of the house, right? And he comes to you and be like, babe, I just don't know if I'm gonna make it. I'm just struggling at school. I'm struggling at work. I don't know if my job's gonna freaking make the money that I was gonna make to have a successful career, take care of the kids. I really want to freaking, but man, I might lose my job next week, and I don't know where my job's gonna come from. Would you want a man to come in and say that to you? And then also to elaborate on it, how would you fix that as a woman?
I don't see my role in a relationship as being there to fix somebody. I'm not there to fix you or like fix anything, but I'm there to like help you grow. We're there to grow together. It's like I see a lot of people thinking like women gotta fix, like women are there to fix you, or women want a man they can fix. I don't want to fix nobody, okay? I just want to be there to help you process your thoughts and figure out what route can we best take to help you achieve what you want together. It's not I'm there to fix you. It's just we're working together as like a team on how we can get what we want. If he has worries, I mean, the first thing I'm going to do is like try to validate his feelings, of course, his worries. It's understandable why he's worrying about all of that. But then I want to.
So what if he doesn't fix the problem though? What if he makes all these, obviously opens up to you, said, hey, babe, I'm don't know what's going to happen, losing my job. Let's say he loses his job, keeps trying to grind, but he just can't make it, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months go by. Can't get back on his feet.
That's like
How are you going to fix that?
That's like a gray area. I don't know what I'll do until I like am actually in that situation. If I'll like
Would
be
you
there and just
say
help him out and like.
Would you say that you've gone through some of it though already in your past relationships, in one form or another?
Where the guy was
saying these things to you, saying, hey, I'm going to do this, saying I'm going to do that, but it never came through.
Yeah.
Haven't improved.
Yeah. It slowly did, but it was like the last year out of 4.
So would you say then, like I said, it's not an attack on you, Yan, please. I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
This is just an open relationship, a conversation we're trying to have, right? To give people advice out there. So would you say that that's not really good advice to give to a guy then? To say? To open up to a woman, to a significant other? Because if you can't fix my problem, right, you're not supposed to be the one that's fixing it.
Yeah, you have to be the one to fix your problem. Like other people can't fix your problems for you. If you're not willing to try to work on your problems, nobody can help you. But jobs, you can't help the jobs. Like if someone is trying to find a job and they can't find the job, no one will hire them. It's like, it's just how it is at that moment. You can't force somebody like, hey, hire me, pay me. Jobs are like an exception.
You see the dilemma here?
Yeah.
You see the oxymoron here, unfortunately, right? It's unfortunately the guy that you want, he has his shit together. He doesn't need anybody to help him.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna just do his thing and do everything that's right. And yes, he won't be an asshole, right? That's the guy you're looking for. He wants, he's gonna hold you. He's gonna make love to you. He's gonna do the things that he needs to do as the man, right? But all his trauma, he's already dealt with himself and already fixed the problem, right? Whereas the guy who doesn't have his shit together and he doesn't have all these things, right? He's gonna be the one that's gonna constantly bring up these things to you. Like, hey, I can't do this, babe. I had a hard day at work. Oh my God, I worked 16 hours today. I'm so tired. I can't have sex with you because I'm so damn tired right now, right? Women don't want to hear that bullshit.
It's not gonna work.
Women don't want to hear
Not all
that
the
bullshit.
time, no.
Right. So, and then, like I said, the other problem is the guy who has his shit together, the guy who's knowing what to do, he's never going to want you to have sex with another man. Maybe woman, but
Therefore, I can't date monogamous men. That's not what I'm looking for now. There are men who are successful and who are polyamorous. Like, they're earning. Like, they don't need nobody's money, but they are polyamorous. At the same time, there's also monogamous men who are successful. It's like,
But what is your purpose of dating then?
it's to find like companionship and to see. I don't want to limit myself on.
Do you not want kids?
No, personally, I do not want kids.
Okay. And then do you think these men, even if they want polyamorous, multiple women, do you think that they don't want kids?
There are definitely some people who want kids and some who don't. That's something that you have to discuss within your relationship. There are dynamics where some people have kids with only one or some of their partners, but not all.
What if I
But-
told you the majority of men who have that together and have everything that they need, even though they want to have sex with multiple women, they want to have their own children. They want to have a main chick.
That'd be like hierarchical. Like if you want a main chick, that's what you get, if you will, a main chick or primary partner. That's not what I'm looking for, so therefore I would not date you.
Okay.
If you want a primary and secondary partner, you are just not on my list of people to date.
So you wouldn't want to be the primary at all or the secondary. You wouldn't want to be either role. You wouldn't want to be the main chick.
There are dynamics where it's equitable. It's not like you don't refer to anybody as like the main partner or secondary
Well,
partner.
it's just unwrittenly said, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
he
yeah.
treats you the best. He gives you the family, the kids. You're driving the freaking Bentley. The other chick's driving a freaking Toyota Corolla, right? So would you be okay with that?
Oh, if the other girl was like doing better than me?
No,
Or-
if you were the main chick and he has a bunch of side chicks, would you be okay with that?
Well, he's giving you the Bentley.
Yeah,
he's giving me the Bentley.
you're the wife.
getting the
You're
Bentley.
the
other
you're
girl's
the
a Toyota
house,
Corolla.
right? Yeah, exactly.
That's what he's trying to say. So
Yeah.
you're okay with that? Him
Would
getting
you
a
be
side
okay
chick?
with that? Would you settle for just one guy, one main alpha
One main guy if he was giving me a Bentley and all
Yeah,
that?
yeah, if he was the main guy doing everything for you.
Like you're asking me if I'll settle for just one person
Yeah,
if
or
that
would
one
you
person gives me everything?
Yeah, or
Yeah.
would you
And he
still
doesn't. And
still want
Would you allow
multiple
him to
other
sleep
men?
with multiple?
But I can't?
You can't.
No.
Okay.
No. Because that's like limiting what I want. Of course, I got the monetary, the money, the material aspects. Like I got all the money, I got the car, I got the house. But at the end of the day, like my own personal wants as a human,
Yeah.
money and material stuff doesn't satisfy me
Okay.
at the end of the day.
What do you think will then?
Relating to people.
Just people?
Just people, and then seeing where love can take me. Like if I end up falling in love with you or
If
I
you-
end up liking you more, it's just like I allow that to happen. But if some dude were to say like, no, you can't do that, but I can sleep with other women, it's like I want to be in control of my own autonomy.
Do you think you will be truly happy though, just having a partner for lack of better words, because that term gets thrown out so much in this day and age, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't
Partner.
that be considered open relationships?
No. It can be. Well, that's what she wanted. But I'm just saying, would you be truly happy just having partners or multiple partners, right, and never having kids?
Yeah, because I've thought about it for a long time. Like, kids have never really been on my list. It's always been kids were on my list because of outside influence, like your parents. Like, when are you gonna get married? When are you gonna have kids? When am I gonna be a grandparent? It's kind of like a career. You grow up with that thought in your mind, and slowly it becomes your own thought. Those thoughts were not mine.
Okay.
It was
So you're
external
open.
thoughts.
So you're open to the idea of getting older, being alone, dying alone.
Like, no kids. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
no
mean,
family.
like, if I wanted a kid, I'd probably adopt, but I don't want a kid. Like, at this moment, like, getting pregnant and having a kid, I don't.
Okay, guys.
But,
Okay.
like, yeah.
Okay.
If I wanted a kid later in age, but I can't, I mean, adoption is still an option. But right now, I just don't want any kids
Okay.
at all.
Have you ever heard of the term leftover women?
I have.
Do you know what that is?
I mean, like, how I hear of it is like leftover woman is like you're old and you're not married. You're just kind of like
Age
you're-
has to do with it, yes. Yeah.
like that leftover woman, like nobody wanted you and you're already this age, you didn't settle down kind of deal.
Yeah. It's obviously, like I said, I bring it up, guys, because it's an Asian culture thing, right?
It's-
It obviously
yeah.
started in
woman.
China. I think that term was pushed by the Asian actually a women's rights group, right? But in essence, they were trying to bring light to obviously this derogatory term. I think it's called like Shun Yun or something like that.
I've heard it. Yeah, I've heard it.
Yeah, right.
in Chinese.
Pretty much it's a shaming of women that are in their late 20s, haven't been married yet, and haven't had kids yet. And unfortunately, in those cultures and in very traditional cultures, and this is how most men think too, I'll be honest with you too, as modern as we are, you get to a certain point, certain age, and your value is diminished, right? You're no longer the 21, 22-year-old girl, young woman that guys find most attractive, right? So are you okay? It sounds like you are, that with that consequence. Are you okay with being a leftover woman?
If that's what they see me as, sure, that's their perspective. Like people from my culture, like, oh, you're that leftover woman. I don't know what's called in Vietnamese, but we do have I feel like we have a word for that. Like those women who were just never got married, never had the tradition in a traditional sense, never got married, never had kids. Just you're single.
Yeah.
If that's how they see me, sure. Like, but if I'm fine with myself, I don't really care. What other people think. You can call me leftover woman if you want. I don't care.
Okay.
But if I'm happy with myself, that's all I need.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you opening up to that.
Yeah,
I respect
thanks,
the accountability as
Yeah.
well, too, right? All right. So we're going to go to the ladies, the rest of the ladies here, right? So we talked about it. Do you think men and women cheating is the same? Right. That was the question. That was the original question that started this whole conversation,
Yeah.
right? So Liz, do you think men and women cheating is the same?
So I answered this on our last live,
Yeah.
but I'll answer it again for this live. Men and women, I feel, don't cheat the same.
Okay.
Because I feel like when you think cheat, you think being physically intimate with someone. I'm a firm believer that as long as my man is providing for me and my family, he can be intimate with as many women as he wants, because a man sleeping around with different women, as long as he's not giving her, spending money on her, or, and taking away from like my resources and whatnot, then it's, whereas with women, like what you said earlier, it's planned, right? So when a woman is sleeping with other men, then I think that she's not being loyal to that one guy.
Let me touch on that, because you have seemed to be obviously a very RP mindset, right? A little bit more open, right? However, yes, physically, but what if your man was giving these other women attention too, though?
I'd cut his dick off.
Okay, all right.
We've had this discussion.
So where is that fine line, right? Then how would he attract? Because, right, This is the thing about a lot of these guys in this space, right? And I want to teach my Asian brothers who are just getting into this space, right? Okay, hey, you're RP aware, right? And there's going to be some women that understand the truth about men and women's nature, right? That men want multiple sex partners, right? And want to have, sex with women, other women, but they only want to commit to one woman in terms of their finances or their values, right? But let me ask you this question that sometimes doesn't get asked in this community. Well, how are they going to get that sex from the other woman?
So I'm also a firm believer that, if he's a high value man, then women will chase him. Like, I don't ever think that a man should be looking for women because he should be working on himself. And so,
But isn't that kind of a self-protection statement, what you're saying, though? Because most men, as high value as some of us can be, right? It's very hard to get that type of attraction from a girl, right? No woman, most part, is going up to you and be like, hey, let me have sex with you. You still have to make an effort to go, right? And approach the woman in some form or matter. So he would have to do that to get that sex.
I mean, so thinking of it that way, like, I'd imagine he'd have to have some sort of game if an attractive woman approached him, right, and gave him an opportunity, right?
But how often is that going to happen, though? That's what I'm trying to say.
It
The
depends.
chances is he's going to have to reach out to some woman, right? He's going to have to go to the club, or he's going to have to DM some chick on social media and be like, hey, how's it going, right? Or maybe someone at his work, someone within his social circle, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to have to make that effort. Would you be okay with that?
If he were making an effort like that, I don't think I'd be okay with it because then at that point he has some
you, honey.
emotional connection with her,
Yeah.
which I don't know if I'd be okay with. Like, we've had this discussion before, and so, like, I've told him, actually it's funny because most of the time when we're with other women, I'm normally the one that approaches the other woman.
Yeah. So you're okay if you're approaching and bringing these women to him. Okay. But you wouldn't be okay if he was kind of doing that.
I mean, I've told him to approach other women before, but he's too shy to, and he knows I'm picky, so we just left it at.
But even in that scenario, though, right? Even in that scenario, you chose the woman for him to go pursue, right? So it's not like you're saying, "Hey, babe, whenever you're feeling up to it, whenever your alphaness comes out, right? Go ahead and hit some girl up that you see at the grocery store, or go ahead and cold approach some girl that you see at your work, right? Or go ahead, you're on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, Instagram's the new dating app, pretty much, right? So go ahead and DM some chick on Instagram, right? And so would you be okay with him doing all those approaches?
If we talk about it first, then maybe. It would depend on why, because, like, when we had the conversation about it before, if he was just hooking up with other women, I said, if you're just hooking up with other women, whatever, it's like a one-off time thing, or if it's something that, both of us are involved in, then I'm fine with it. But if it's someone that he's going to be seeing constantly, then I wouldn't be okay with it at all, because at that point, it's no longer...
Well, what happens if he just sees her just to hook up physically? But, like I was just saying, he still has to bring something. I mean, most women, unless she's a prostitute, right, and you pay her whatever the money is to hire a prostitute, they're not going to just exchange sex, right, just for nothing, right? So, even as little as he might have to exchange, I mean, he might have to take her out to a dinner. He might have to, take her to a movie. Maybe they hang out for a little bit, hang out at the club.
I don't think I'd be okay with that, because if he were putting his, like, emotions there with another woman, I'd be like, all right, so, like, do you not want to be emotionally invested with me if you're emotionally investing in someone else? That time that you're spending away from me, then at that point it's kind of like, oh, well, then, I think it could be better spent with me than someone else.
So knowing this now, do you think men and women still cheat the same then?
Sure. I mean, I still think it's like, obviously if a woman sleeps with another guy, it's definitely cheating. But like I said, like, if a man sleeps around sleeping around, I don't think for a man is cheating. Him investing time in another woman, or investing resources, whether it's time, emotions, money, is.
Okay, so this is the thing, and I think Liz just touched on it, because even as open as she is to this concept, right, of men being able to have sexual partners in essence, right, this is the thing that the RP space hasn't had an answer to, and that's the reason why I wanted to highlight it, is that they don't understand that to get the sex from the female, you have to give up your values to do so. Mm-hmm. And so it's not the sex in nature that the woman is pissed off about. It's the fact that everyone knows this, unless you're just like some super alpha Tyrone or Chad, that's just women having, celebrity athlete that, women are just throwing themselves just for the status option. But see, even in that context, you still had to have status for the woman to get with you, right? So you're giving up something, right? So there's this potential that she slept. Well, hey, I can say I slept with LeBron James, right? I slept with a celebrity. You're giving up a value. And so, ladies, I totally get you. That's the reason why the RP community, to me, is not the truth, is because men have to give up something to get the sex. Yeah. And I see why there's always two sides to the coin, right? And in this channel, we always see both sides of the equation, right? And so you have to give something up to get sex from the female. And that's what the problem is. So yes, can men cheat physically? 100% we can. If women are just throwing poon at us, right? And we don't have to give anything back. I know you and I are looking at, man, I wish there was a world like that, man. I mean, you and I, we would be right there, right? But, right, because we talk about this, like, communication. We talk about communication. Yeah, you got to talk about this with your significant other, whether you're married or not, right?
You have to.
But the thing is, there's no way most women are just going to give sex with you without giving something up in return, right? And therein lies the problem. So that, my Asian brothers, learn that. Don't get so confused with the RP content out there, because as much as those guys will tell you, oh no, you become a high value man, you get all this, you become famous and status, you can go ahead and sleep with all women, and women should just put up with it. Women should just don't care. Well, I'm telling you that there's a reason why women have such a hard time with it. It's because you have to give up something to get that value. Yeah. So yes, it's not the same. It's not the same. We can't just cheat physically, but for us to get that physical, we got to give something up, and therein lies the problem.
What does Jasmine think?
Well, we're gonna get into her next, right? Because
I'm getting excited.
Right.
Here
So the original question, Jasmine, right? The original question is: do you think men and women cheat the same, or is it cheating the same for men and women?
No, and actually, I agree with what you had said early into the conversation. Was I think, generally speaking, of course, because we all know that there's exceptions to the rule, but generally speaking, what drives most men to cheat probably is because they're not getting something that they want from their main partner. Generally, that's probably physical, probably some emotional, whatever that is. Emotional and physical lacking, they're not getting. So they're going to go out and they're going to find it from someone else, right?
What if I told you that more than 1 in 3 men right now are not getting sex, right? What more? I would say is, this stat gets thrown out a lot, but I think it's honestly probably 50% of men right now are probably virgins or haven't had sex in the last year, right? And then probably if we had to talk about marriages, not my marriage, thankfully, right? But marriages in general, I mean, I would say the majority of men who are in marriage are probably like 70%, 80% are not getting sex. I would probably guesstimate. I mean, I don't know the stats, but I would guess. Yeah. So, yeah. So, do you think whether a man is getting sex or not, like me, I'm in a happy marriage, I get sex more than or at least enough that I want to. I could always use more, right? Hint, hint. Right? But
get a little heat in here.
Right?
Right. Let me drink some of my water.
Right. And I'll get into that in a second, right? Because every man is a little bit different, right? For sure. But I will say this about alpha men, right? Or at least men who appears to have their shit together. We have a very high sex drive, right? We have a very, because that's what makes us men. That's what makes us go-getters, right? That is our purpose. We are doing what we need to do to get the sexual attraction from the female. And that's the reason why we want that. So we're always going to push hard to have more sex and want more sex, because that forces us, well, not forces us, but it focuses us, hey, we want to work harder. We want to try harder for our significant other, right? So what if I told you that regardless if a man was not getting sex or not, sexless marriage, virgins, or even a man like myself who's getting sex routinely, we still want sex from other women. So what would I tell you that? Would that change your mindset on that question?
Maybe a little. I mean, I'm kind of ruminating over my old past relationships, and even me, I've never physically cheated, because I've never gone out and been like, I just want to have sex with this guy today. But there's definitely been times when I'm, when the relationship is not going well, and or that the end is near, and there's some other guy that is starting to give me attention, and so I've emotionally cheated. I would say
go talk to somebody else.
Yeah,
right?
I'm gonna talk to someone else who's interesting me or whatever. And so that kind of goes back to what you were saying. Usually, if a woman gets to the point where she physically cheats, it's been premeditated. It's not like she just went to the grocery store and smashed some guy in aisle 6. There's been a lead up to it. But then you were saying there's men out there who they're getting routine sex, but they still want to go out and have sex.
I would say it's not even there's some men out there. I would say the majority of men, yes. The majority of men, even if we were getting that, we still want the other women still. So knowing men's nature now, because I was going to try to come back to full circle to, you guys that were cheated on. Do you guys, I'm trying to find the right word, right? But do you guys maybe have a different mindset for that guy that cheated now? Or do you still think he's a piece of shit?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think now again, I can look back on that specific relationship, and I think, this is just who he is as a person. And
would it have been easier if he communicated to you about that?
Yes. And I think we were lacking a lot. I mean, again, we were young. We had a baby very soon into the relationship, so we never built some very basic foundational components of a healthy relationship.
So what if he came up to you one day and said hey, he is who he is, right? He wasn't 100% successful. You guys were still living at your parents' house, right? He was trying to get himself up and going, right? But if he just came up to you and wanted to babe, I love you. I'm going to freaking just, I'm going to continue trying to get what I am, but I want to go have sex with a bunch of women. And he just was honest with you, just straight up honest with you. Would you still be cool with that?
No.
And
I
why?
am not okay.
And why was that?
That's just not the way I jive. I am a one-woman man.
Okay, you're a one
or wait,
one man
woman.
you're a
I want a one-woman man.
oh